Whoops, what happened? Oh,
Stop singing with your head. Start singing from your soul. I'm Brad Chapman, and this is a Radical Vocal Breakdown. Let's go to work.
most singers think if they're on pitch, they're doing it right. That's why so many of them still don't connect. They're not getting standing ovations. They're not getting the heavy applause. You can sing every note correctly, and it still doesn't feel real. It could sound like a robot, maybe. After working on 24 platinum records and coaching Grammy-winning singers, I can tell you this shows up constantly. And Mayat's going to back me up on that as a producer. It's usually not a talent issue. It's not even primarily a technique issue. It's that the singer isn't hearing what's actually happening inside the phrase of these great emotional singers. If you can't hear those choices, you can't reproduce them. So what we're going to do today is simple. We're going to take a performance from Ella Langley, specifically Choosing Texas. Now, Choosing Texas has been in the #1 slot for a couple of weeks now. It just got bumped off by Olivia, but it's really a hot record, and the reason is because people are touting how organic she is, that she's not trying to put one over on us. She's not trying to hit high notes. She's not overly produced. She just sings from her heart, and everybody's just going crazy. Plus, she has 10 singles on the top 100 right now of Billboard. Not country, Billboard. So they're saying country's the new pop. So I'm going to show you exactly what's happening inside the lines. Not so you can copy her. We're not here for that. So you can hear why it works and start making those kinds of choices in your own voice. That's what we're really after. Because once you hear it, everything changes. You stop guessing, and when you stop guessing, your singing starts to feel real. All right, so you all can see that we have guests on today's show to really make sure that everything is clear and concise for you to learn from. We have Hotep, record producer, Grammy member, with his artist Monae Reese. Thank you. And then we have Olga C. She's going to do some demonstrating for you. So the whole idea here is that you understand how the Sing from Feel Mastery System works and how it can help you become a great artist. And we're using Ella because she's a great artist, and that's what we're after. Okay, let's talk about one of the ways that we all learn how to sing that hasn't been really working that well, and I'll explain why. So you're looking at the colors behind the white piece of paper. That's Ella's feel, that's her emotion, that's her color. However, you've got a piece of paper over it, and you're drawing a line with your hand there. That's what it's like to sing along with Ella Langley and not really hear what she's doing. So today you're going to learn how to actually listen and repeat and do what she's doing so you can make it part of your own. The next part of what happens that doesn't work really well is sheet music. And we run into this in the universities and with voice teachers and musical, and put this up on the stage, I already did that. Anybody who thinks in terms of perfect pitch and perfect rhythm being what sheet music presents, this is their world and that's what they're doing, and that's fine. However, in the contemporary world, you will never hear a pop singer sing like this, and I'm going to play it for you right here. This is the piano playing the section of the song that Ella is singing, and you'll immediately know the difference between what this sounds like and what Ella Langley or other pop singers sound like when they sing. This is the verse we're going to be working on. All right, okay, so yes, that kind of sounds like what Ella's doing, but it's not really what Ella's doing. Now, Ella did write it with a couple of co-writers, but the sheet music quite often is someone who takes dictation and they're classically trained and they just get in here and start making everything quantized and exactly on pitch and perfect rhythm. That's not the world you're in if you're a contemporary singer. And also, we are going to have Olga help us out with this. But one more thing, we're going to take a look at the reality of what contemporary singers actually do and why in their world they're perfectly on pitch and perfectly in rhythm. This is a software, it's called Audacity. Well, actually, this is going to be Melodyne. Okay, here we go. And we're on stage. Okay. This is a visual representation of a part of the song that we just listened to. So I'm going to play it just to remind you what we're doing. And this is Ella Langley all by herself. Used a stem splitter to isolate her so that we can see everything that's happening without the other instrumentation getting in the way. Check it out.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. Old Hank Tim's the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Now, that doesn't really sound like what we heard the sheet music sound like. There's rhythms that are different, there's pitches that are different, and we're not really going to try to learn from this today because Audacity is the better tool. That's why I thought of that first. But I do want you to know that when you hear Ella Langley, because you've heard other people talk about, well, when you're a singer, you should be perfectly on pitch and perfectly in rhythm. When you hear Ella Langley, you assume that she is classically perfectly on pitch and perfectly on rhythm because that's what you've been told. She is not, and that's why this is important to understand. Now, the way this works is these orange blobs, that's what they call them, they're called blobs, represent the actual voice and the pitch it's on and the rhythm it's on. And as we go through this briefly, you're going to see that some of the pitches are a little above. We call that sharp. And this note right here, you're going to see a couple little boxes show up with numbers. I'll show you those. She's 20% sharp right here. She's even more here, 26% sharp. And all of these little lines right here are the glisses that go through. Now, sometimes these lines represent pitch you can't actually see here. But it's really important to notice that they're there because without them, it's just not the right feel. And the rhythm you see here is, these are 16th notes from the left to right, these lines that are vertical, and you cannot see that they're always exactly on the line. You see she's before them, behind them. Again, don't study this as closely as I have. All I'm trying to let you know is that in Ella Langley's world, this is perfect pitch and this is perfect rhythm. And the difference is critical because you've heard auto-tune, right? Mm-hmm. Drop a 1 in the chat room if you've heard auto-tune. Now, I decided not to auto-tune Ella, but I did that earlier on my own, and believe me, it does not sound right. Putting her perfectly on pitch and perfectly on rhythm is, whoops, screwed that record up. Maya, you have worked with this, right?
Yes.
And when you're looking at a vocal like this, and you're mixing, the vocal's done and you're mixing, you haven't decided exactly what you're going to do yet. Do you just automatically put everything on pitch and perfectly in rhythm according to piano music?
No. We have a saying that soul is a note between a note, or rhythm in between a rhythm, which it's,
I like that.
Yeah.
Like I close my eyes and I listen and see how it makes me feel. And if something's off, I try to adjust it to where it makes me feel something, feel what I need to feel, and then look and see what it actually is. And a lot of times I'm surprised.
That's right on. Your ear first.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had a story about that earlier where a guy thought Maya was asleep when he was producing because he was listening.
Yeah. There's a bunch of pictures online of me with my eyes closed, and Dave Isaac got me into that because if I'm looking at a singer, let's say they have the whitest teeth in the world, and I'm sitting there like, wow, like whatever's going on, that it can distract me, and we have to concentrate on what's coming out of the speakers. So if I close my eyes, I eliminate all of that stuff, and it allows me to get into what's going on. And literally, I'll sit there like for a long time doing that, and it does look like I'm asleep. I haven't fallen asleep yet doing it.
Oh, I'm sure.
But you know, as
because
I get
there's
older,
so much to hear.
As I get older, I'm sure I'll end up snoring or something, you know, mess up or something. But yeah, I try to eliminate all the distractions and get into the nuances of the vocal, because when they play it on the radio or whatever, that's what's going to be there. That's what they're going to hear.
Can you tell us real quick a little bit about Dave Isaac?
Yeah.
His
He
credentials?
if you look up Motown vocals Dave Isaac, you'll see him and one of the Dozier brothers. I think it's Reggie Dozier. They're talking about it. One of the things he got me into was having an artist sing from beginning to the end, because there's a difference in performance as you sing a song from the beginning to the end, from top to bottom. He started out, he's from Detroit, and as a little kid he was out there seeing stuff and experiencing, and for me he is a wealth of knowledge and experience, and he looks at stuff different than I do, and he's a trusted source where I can come to him with all of my whatever, and he'll say, well, have you thought about this? And well, we did it like this and try it like this. And I've ended up by trying the stuff that he says, without me being some super experienced person at it, the simple method of doing the stuff he says ends up getting me a total different result. That's what what we say is dope. Where we were at a Khalik Glover event, and it was years ago, and I was helping everybody, and Dave Isaac, Dave Hampton, and Khalik said, well, what do you want? And I was like, me? No, hold on. Anna Rams. And I didn't know. What do you want? And I told them I want to learn how Motown did what they did with the artists, with the emotion and this and that. And they said, okay. And that started the path. And Dave Isaac has been showing me that stuff. He's worked with Anita Baker, Whitney Houston, Rochelle Farrell. Wow. If anybody knows those Rochelle Farrell albums and how she sings, he's an icon when it comes to engineering and working with the artists and getting that sound. There's a lot of people that you may not know, that might not have the face where they're being presented everywhere, who are some bad mofos, as we say.
The household names, they're not the household names.
Yeah, he behind the scenes with us he is,
right.
But to the public, they might not be. But if you get in a room with them and they start doing their kung fu, you're gonna learn, so you're gonna realize what's going on. And he's one of those guys, Motown guys.
And he's a great guy.
He worked with Keisha Cole too, right?
Yeah, Keisha Cole.
Yeah,
What'd you say?
I was saying I've had conversations with him too. He's a really great guy. He actually helped write our book.
See,
let me mention that real quick. So my is the co-writer of the Sing for Feel book. So that's another credit on his side. And
what did you just say?
He worked with Keisha Cole.
That Keisha Cole thing. So with Dave, what got me was if anybody who knows me, I'm a forever student to where people don't even realize I can do what I can do. But I asked Dave, and he's one of the people who actually gave. Like Dave Pensado has this thing. It's a lot of Daves. Like Dave Pensado has this thing where he was giving. Dave Isaac was giving, and then the results that he would give were just, like, wow.
Those are both great guys. And Khalik is a Grammy-winning engineer as well.
Oh, yeah.
So just real quick back to Melodyne. So do you use an engineer on the editing, or do you do it yourself?
I quit touching that stuff.
Okay.
So, I taught my guys.
Right.
And then I went down the rabbit hole of sing from feel.
Yeah.
Because Melodyne, like, sometimes it'll lie to you. Well, I don't know about the newer updates. They keep updating and making the product better. But if you just look at those lines, it'll mess you up.
Yeah, you gotta always use your ear, guys. Everyone out there who's listening, always use your ear.
And of course, I know how to use it, but I'm trying to get that result, like from her or Olga, and then that stuff we would try to make it to where we make minor adjustments, if anything.
All right. So when they move the pitch, which everyone they can do, so you can move it like that, right? When they move the pitch and it doesn't sound right, then you have them put it back, right?
Yeah, but also, okay, so take Olga. Say we want Olga to sing a different pitch. You can move it and say, here's the example, but then she has to sing it like that. You could use it like that, where you can change how it changed the performance, and then she listen and say, oh, that's what you're trying to do. So like me, when
like
I sing,
voice.
when I sing, I sound like a hurt dog, and like we always make these jokes about it.
Well,
and
you never let me hear that.
Hey,
I want to hear that.
You're welcome. You're very welcome. But so like if Olga sings and then I have an idea and or some producer, whatever, makes an example with that, all she has to do is listen and she'll say, oh, that's what you're trying to do, versus when I'm singing sounding like a hurt dog.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's definitely useful if, let's say, the composer is trying to come up with a little bit of a different melody to support the melody, and so he will change it and say, hey, can you do this so these notes don't clash? That's how I've seen it been used in that way. In that
And Brad.
capacity.
Yeah. I use
Brad,
it for
so-
strictly evaluation.
Yes.
One of the first things that I did with Melodyne was create harmonies, like a
Oh,
first,
yeah, you
third,
can do
fifth,
that,
the
yeah.
seventh, or whatever. And so say I'm working with these two, and I could create the harmonies, and I say, oh, that's cool. But then I could solo the harmony and say, learn this pitch
Learn
and
it,
sing
yeah.
it. Yeah, and they follow the harmonies, and then,
It's a great tool, everyone. Don't get this confused with auto-tune. Even though auto-tune can be used the same way, it can be used well. Auto-tune can be used extremely well. And a lot of people use it, do not change the feel of it. But one of the things that you'll see if you watch a Melodyne demonstration on YouTube is someone who tell Melodyne to put everything perfectly on pitch and perfectly in rhythm, which is what I did. And it sounds pretty bad. It's just like, no, this is not blues anymore. This is not country. We don't know what this is. So again, I'm just showing you. See, look how sharp this note is. I mean, it's like way off the scale here. 55% sharp. Now these, I'm not saying they're all off. This is really close to being on. It's like only 7% sharp. This one's really deadly accurate, 5% sharp. And the other thing you get to see here is like you get to see these lines. So as I play it this time, kind of envision in your mind what's happening with these lines as she's singing. I particularly like this last little section here. Listen to what she does with her voice right there at this very last part of the verse.
Yes, she forgot about
I'm sorry.
the smoky mountain rain. Old hang tunes, the Memphis blues
Right here.
we used
Now
to
right here.
sing.
So yeah, right? So this is really common in pop and country music. The da, da, da. I really love the little yodel in there, and that's really cool, actually. I think the more personality without being overbearing, the better.
Yeah.
Anybody have any questions about this? You can throw it in the chat, or if Olga or Monae, or you have any questions, Mayat?
I don't have a question, but we obsess
Yeah.
over these little things. Like you said, that little thing going down, that's a different feel than it going up to where, like if it's aspirational, you're reaching for something in the next sentence, or how it's setting up the next sentence, or the feel of that next to the notes that are going on at that time or that are about to go on. It really affects, but the listener wouldn't sit there and, they wouldn't care. They're just affected by the result. And the real thing is to do things that affect the listener.
Yes.
That's actually what I'm focusing on, is what's going to make this listener get this, affect a listener the way I'm wanting them to be affected.
Absolutely. Again, all comes down to the ear, and record producers quite often don't even want to see the singer. They don't want to be influenced by the body language, or by what they were wearing that day, or whatever. They just want to hear it so that they know when it comes out in the headphones for other people that the feel is going to be there. We've had just a couple of comments. I don't know what a question mark means. So if you're still there at your _KYV, you can expand on that. And we had a dam. This is Big W. I don't know what that means. Just
A big
shorthand.
W would probably be a big win.
Oh, all right, cool. Okay. Yeah, I know one guy just says whistle. So that just means, we love it. And then Robert Keenan said, hey, I'm your first like. Okay, I'm glad you guys are here and you're enjoying this. The next portion of the song of the show, which is going to be a song, is going to be where we're going to be using Audacity, and we'll do some actual learning here. Now, those of you who know ahead of time to wear headphones and use a mic and also have a player where you've selected your favorite piece of a song, a verse or chorus, and that you can slow it down with your player. Now, that's not as sophisticated as what we're doing here, but this is really easy to use too. This is called Audacity, and that's not what I asked to come up. Let me close this so I don't have to worry about it again. I know you guys are looking at Audacity, but right now I'm looking at Melodyne, so we'll just cancel it.
Can I say something before you start,
Yeah.
Brad?
Yeah, go for it.
So when Brad is working with an artist, let me say it like this. I'd bring an artist to Brad. That artist would put on a pair of headphones. That artist would be there with Brad, and they would actually work on the song. It's like being in the studio, where let's say you're not used to working with headphones. If you're doing all this work with Brad, where you have the headphones on, you have your mic, you're singing, and so that the idea is this is how you work in the studio. Then when you go to the studio, you're used to it. Because for a lot of people, the headphones can throw you off. And
Make a
so
good singer bad.
it can mess you up, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's part of why Mayat chimed in on the Sing for Feel book. He's more on the recording side, knows more about it than I do. So he helped us to understand compression and limiters and so forth. And so there's a lot of great things in the book besides what we're going to show you here. And recording equipment, microphones, headphones, all that kind of stuff is talked about in ad nauseum. Not exactly, but enough that you know what you're talking about after you read the book. Okay, so here's the way this is going to go. We're going to play Ella singing here on Audacity, just to remind you with the music what this sounds like. Then my wonderful student Olga is going to show you what it sounds like to sing this same line, just the second half, not the first half, in perfect pitch and perfect rhythm, so that classically concerned. Now remember, there's two worlds. Classical, that's sheet music, that's choir, that's musical theater, that's opera. That's their world. That's great, man. I don't try to interfere with them. I hope they don't try to interfere with me. But our contemporary world is different. And so we have different, what you consider perfect pitch or perfect rhythm is different. Like Mayat said, when he's listening and he likes what he hears, if it makes him feel something, that's perfect pitch and perfect rhythm. And that's what we're going to show you today that Ella does so extremely well. All right, so we're just listening one more time just to kind of remember what's going on here, because people are coming and going, I know. This is a live performance, by the way. That's so cool. Now, I don't know what Olga will do, but on the sheet music, it was like ba ba da ba ba. Mm-hmm. Right on pitch, right on the rhythm.
Yeah.
Wait, what was that? Ba-da. Didn't sound at all really cool like this. Okay, so I'm muting Ella's voice. We can do this because we used a stem splitter. Look that up and you'll know what I'm talking about.
Okay.
And follow along the best you can so that you're learning something, not just chiming in to see what's going on. Here we go. Here you go. So this is the first half. Yeah, now you can.
Oh, take to the Memphis blues we used to say. Not so great at the yodel.
Well, I mean, being perfect.
At the yodel, yes.
Let
Everything.
me give you a little more music before we start. So remember, the first half of the verse is only your introduction.
All right.
All right. So all of you out there who's following along, once you've selected a phrase, you can't just come in right on the phrase. Otherwise, you like, oh, you don't know where the rhythm is, you don't know where the pitch is yet. So you always want to be listening to the first part of the phrase or one phrase before the other, so that you have a sense of where the beat is and where the pitch is, so that when you actually start singing, you're in the groove. So when you have a song and you have an introduction, you get that already. But here, Ella's not here to actually teach us. We're using her recording. All right, here we go.
I guess he forgot about Smoky Mountain rain. Them old hang to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Okay, so that was closer to the classical style, perfect pitch and perfect rhythm. Olga has also worked it with Ella, and I'm going to show you how that works now. The learning process, without going into more information than you need, slowing the track down is very similar to what people use when they want to research a video and they want to see how the athlete is moving or how a hummingbird's wings are moving, because when you see it in real time you can't really get it. So what I do here is I just go to Effect and I'm going to click on Tempo. You can't see what I'm doing right now, but you will now. Now you can see it. And we're going to go minus 25%, which is arbitrary. You might decide to go minus 50%. All depends on what you're learning. If you're trying to learn an Ariana Grande lick or a Christina Aguilera lick, you may want to slow it down 70% to get every individual note. Now, if you're a male trying to sing the song, you can also change the key in here. And again, all that's in the program. If you buy the Sing for Feel Mastery System, we'll show you exactly how to do this. So I always preview just to make sure I've got something close to what I'm asking for. Here we go. Yeah, that's it. All right. So Olga is going to show us what she did at home. So without having her spend hours showing us because nobody wants to be here that long. She's going to kind of do a shorthand. So she's going to listen once or twice. That's what she did. But at home, she probably listened. How many times did you listen the first time at home? Slowed down.
Slowed down, I would say, it broke it down in 2 days, I would say. Like 17 times each time or so, maybe, yeah.
And wasn't it cool that on the 17th time you heard something you didn't hear on the 5th time?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's always something.
Yeah,
something new.
Yeah, it's like, wait, again, this kind of music can't be categorized the way classical music. You can't write it. You can't. You can put it in sheet music all you want, but it's just not going to come out because it doesn't work that way. All right, so she's going to listen twice, and then she's going to sing along. Now, she actually knows how to create the unison, but on purpose, just to show you how this works, she's going to be off rhythm and a little off pitch. She's wonderful. She's helping us out here. Be kind. I know I am. All right, here we go. So I'm going to bring Ella back in on the track. There we go. There she is. Okay. We're all listening. We're going to gain something here. And let's do this. I'm going to play it once at this tempo. I'm going to ask you a few questions. You and I will kind of talk a little bit about what we heard. This is something new, having a producer as a guest, so I'm kind of improvising here. Then we'll bring it in and have Olga listen twice and then do the singing. But I want to get Mayat's feedback here. So Mayat knows what he's listening for because he's seen my show before. Here we go. So this is the introduction. We're just getting the feel of it here. There's some great information here, but not today. Here's the part.
Morning to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
See, so she's close, and she got something out of that because she already knows what the unison sound like, and it helps her understand. Now when she goes back to listen, which is what she would do next, she would listen again, maybe 5 or 6 times, and then go back and sing. And when she feels the unison is really good, then there's multi-track recording, which we'll get into. But I want to get Mayat in here. Were you able to hear any details that kind of you didn't hear at the original tempo, Mayat?
When you slow it down, you can actually hear what's going on. Like if I'm watching Bruce Lee and he does a real fast punch, and all I know is I got bopped in the head and knocked out. Whereas if somebody's they might slow it down and it shows that he hit me with his knuckle, and right when he hit me, he shifted his hip. I can see the little details, pick it apart, and say, oh, and start utilizing that. So
you see the kinetic chain.
Yes. So as the singing was going on, it might sound like it's a straight note, but you might, as you slow it down, you might hear the little wobbling and something that you hear is emotion. You might actually get to hear what it's doing emotionally. Like if it sounds angry, you might hear the initial, right when the sound first starts, it does something and it does a wobble, and like whatever it's doing to cause that emotion, you actually get to analyze and say, oh. And when people are teaching you how to sing, what do y'all call that? The
vibrato.
Vibrato. Thank you. Anything like vibrato when they're doing the runs. A lot of times they have you do it slow, and then you increase speed over time, but you get the mechanics of going slow to get your voice and your ears tuned into what's going on, and then you speed it up. But you analyze it slow so you can actually see the details. And I clearly heard it. My brain had to go to work on her voice, on Olga's voice, plus her voice. They were doing 2 different things. No, that's fine. They were doing 2 different things, but my brain actually was working to hear what Olga was doing and the other one, and there's you can hear the little differences when you slow it down.
Well, I'm going to play it one more time without Olga singing, and then I'm going to point out a couple of things. And actually, there's one thing that's really cool in the first half of this second verse, and I'll point that out in a moment. But let's put our listening hats on, because if you've been watching the emails and the posts I've been making, I made a very strong point out of if you can't hear it, you can't do it. And that's what I'm proving today. If you can't hear it, you can't do it. If you think, okay, I'm just going to go sing and I'm going to be great, maybe you'll win the lottery too. I don't
Yeah,
even
I'm
have
gonna do what Ella's doing, but I don't even know what she's doing.
Exactly. Yeah, and that's what tracing does. We go, okay, yeah, I got it. I'm gonna go. And when we were on tour and doing cover songs, sometimes we didn't have time for this. And actually, at that point, I didn't know how to do this anyway. But I was thrown up on stage after working with the song for a half hour, so I just did the best I could. So there's those situations. But we're talking about you at home, working on your craft, making yourself the best singer you can be. But anyway, let's listen. Here we go.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain.
Okay, I'm going to pause that right there. She goes, Smoky Mountain Rain. Not mountain rain. Mountain rain. That's very important in today's music because it sounds like she's talking. I just came back and I just came home from the mountain range. If she said mountain range, she wouldn't be country anymore.
Yeah.
So you have to remember there's certain rules within a genre. So if your voice teacher or somebody's telling you got to have perfect diction, mountain rain, I'm telling you, when you go put that in front of an audience, they're not going to know what to do with it because it just sounds weird and they don't know why. But if you do what Ella's doing and you come across more like you're speaking, and the little squeak in her voice was emotions, mountain, that's feel, that's emotion. I remember I used to think that was just something you did because you were cool, but I've learned now it's all emotions. Okay, I'm going to play the second half of this.
If I could say real quick, I feel like people feel authenticity.
Oh,
They
definitely.
feel when it's coming from your actual soul and it's not just
Being sung.
you singing.
Yeah.
You're absolutely right, Monae, and that's exactly what a record producer who sells records and a record company who sells records would tell you. They know better than to try to create perfect products based on classical music. And all we're doing here is helping singers get educated on the other side of the wall here, because unfortunately on YouTube and everywhere they're always hearing perfect pitch, perfect rhythm, blah, blah, blah. I know every once in a while you'll see a YouTube of a bass player who says, hey, if you're not playing the groove, forget it. And that's what he's saying. If you play perfect pitch and perfect rhythm, you're not going to work. You've got to feel in the groove. You've got to be in the style of the music, but not always in the pocket. And I've heard that talked about too. You've always got to be in the pocket. Well, the drummer does because he's got a click track. He's got to be deadly with that metronome, but the singer doesn't. You can be in the pocket when it feels right, but you don't have to be in the pocket all the time, right?
Right.
Here we go. Listening. Oh, it's going to start over. You get two.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. Old hang-tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing.
And then there you go. Sang. Not sing. Sure, pull up the lyrics. You'll see it say sing. She didn't sing. She sang sing. Right? So again, she's staying true to herself. She's staying true to her world. And just one more thing about her: if you do some research on her, the whole recording world right now is talking about how authentic she is, how original she is, and that's why I'm going with her today, using her as this demonstration, and how she's changing the face of pop music. Okay, Maya, your turn.
On the authenticity, number one, we would study to see what a person's doing so we can add to our tools. But if I, as a producer, am wanting, say, Monae to be authentic, I have to start asking questions to find out who Monae is and does she know who she is, because she might do like Ray Charles and be mimicking everybody else when it's time to do her personal performance. And on her personal performance, who is Monae? What would Monae do? Like if I start choking her right now, and she can fight. I start choking her right now. Whatever she does in that reaction is gonna be some real Monae stuff. Even if she was watching Bruce Lee movies with me.
She's the one who hit you in the head, not Bruce.
And that's what we want. It's like I said, like when I was working with Olga. If I listen, y'all, if y'all ever produce Olga and you guys are working on a song that has anything to do with family, dig into that and watch Olga.
Yes.
Dig into it and watch the feeling of the singing change.
She loves her family.
You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. It's clear. You know. And but you'll start getting some Olga stuff because she changes inside the emotion. So we want the tools. Like when I listen to this singing, it like like all that. I'm like, I'm feeling it slow. Like look like
I know, make your body jump.
Make you want to giddy up.
Yeah.
And that's not something that's necessarily on the chart, as Brad would say. That's her.
Yeah, it's the only place you can learn it is from her.
Yeah, but see, then Monae would have to. It's okay, Monae. Who's you? What you gonna do? You know.
Yeah, we'll get to that on the Sing for Feel. Did you happen to notice anything that particularly grabbed you besides the you that Ella did?
Me?
Yeah, when you were listening.
There were. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, whatever. What other details that people could learn from you, now that you've heard her?
Well, every little section had it. She sounded like her, like every little section. I'm drawing a blank on like what she did when, but like, wait, play it one more time, Brad.
Sure.
Play it one more time. I'll show you.
See, now what Maya just said here is what I want you all to remember. Play it again. Listen again.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. Bold hang tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing.
So when you talk about like what we call quantizing, putting it on, even the say the letter N, like in Nancy, she could do it a quick one or hold it out, and like we'll actually do drills where you'll sing and practice the N. As she's singing, it's not some computerized thing. The way she says words, like when she says fur.
Yeah, and that was one of the first things that my first voice teacher told me never to do was say
See? And then if you don't, then you eliminate possibilities, emotional possibilities. But there's an artist, Mace, rapper. If people go back and listen to Mace's hits, like say with Total, the Beatle hit, and he's like an 8th or 16th note right after. So it's like, well, hi. Like hey, babe, like it's right after, it's not on, and we'll play with the rhythm of being, it's push and pull as to where something is. And to tell you the truth, Brad, I was working with you, and you had said that one time an artist was just on too much, and you're like, you don't shift forward and backwards in time, and I was like, oh, and I went around, I started listening for that. And that's how I caught Mace. What's the song, Woman? It's Gladys Knight, Natural Woman.
Oh, you're Aretha Franklin.
It's Aretha Franklin.
Now maybe the other girl did
Feel
it too.
like a nat. It's
Yeah.
Aretha.
Yeah, we did.
Okay,
Olga and I did her. If you go to my YouTube channel, you can find we did that song.
There's nothing about that song where she's singing where she's like on.
And she's quite
Dancing.
sharp.
Right.
She was really wild. She was actually above the note quite a bit, which my aunt and I talked about. It's probably because of the excitement, of the live performance, the adrenaline. But you didn't hear it as sharp. You just said, "Wow, that sounds great."
There's an emotional movement that's going on. Like when you get excited and you know what, there's an emotional movement that's going on, and she's doing that. As you slow it down, and whenever you guys go back and listen for that, the little held out. How she starts
individualizing
listen to the
each
nuances
part.
of the movement of the ebb and flow.
For hearing it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just so everybody doesn't panic at this point, like my aunt said, eventually you do speed this up and do it the original tempo, which we'll do as well with Olga. Tony Silva has just joined us and said he's loving this. So Tony, be sure and ask my aunt questions in the chat. Learn from the man. He's in the trench all the time. I'm coaching all the time with singers, but my aunt's in the trench, really trying to get something that he can put out there on the marketplace. So it's great to get his opinion on all this.
Hello, Tony. I do bite.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, you gotta watch it. And actually, now Tony's handle here is Jack Wolf, so be careful there.
Hey, there you go.
Okay, so excellent. So what we're going to do next is what Olga worked on her own time was creating a unison with Ella. Now we've said we don't want to copy Ella, so what's the point of you doing a unison? I'll turn that over to you, Olga. What do you get out of doing the unison?
I feel like I'm able to get into her soul a little bit. There's like this gentle anger. Like even that little, you used to say, like she's just like, ugh. Like that's her way of like, you know, her attitude.
She had an attitude and stuff.
Yeah.
She did not like this guy.
Yeah.
Sad.
Then the breathiness at the end of some of the words, I appreciated and was able to kind of get into what she was feeling and how she was expressing. And I think overall, studying the artists and what they use and their flair, you know, I guess it helps to, for my own artistry, helps to kind of, when you amalgamate all these things together, it can create a whole new thing, right? So if I'm trying one certain genre, then I can kind of add a little bit, a hint of this and a hint of that. So studying all the artists is so important. So, yes, that's what I got. I don't know if I answered the question.
No, that's right.
Yeah.
And I almost hate to use the word automize in this context, but what we're doing, or what Olga's doing, or anybody I'm teaching to do this, or when I've tried it myself, is I'm automizing my subconscious with Ella's information. Then when I create my own stuff, Ella's influence is flying out of me, and I don't even know that that's happening because I've automized it.
Yeah.
And that's what we're talking about. That's why we're saying we're not trying to be Ella. We're not going to try to produce a record that sounds exactly like Ella Langley. That's you might as well just put AI on and let it do it. You know, it's like, who cares? And I just want to mention that really quick. Everybody's afraid of AI, and I get it. But when you're a creator, you have a much better chance of AI not affecting you in a negative way. And I won't let Mayotte go into his soapbox on this because he'll go on forever. But we will talk a little bit about it. AI is a great tool. Tell us just briefly, Mayotte, how you use Suno.
Okay, well, first let me respond to what so and hopefully you'll chime in too. If I'm able, when I go to sing or rap, whatever I'm doing, play the fiddle, if I have 5 moves, I'm stuck in that. If I go and say it's playing the fiddle and I listen to someone who does a whole different thing, I now expand out of that box. And what we learn in, like when we would learn Kung Fu, we would do all this training, but then when it's time to fight, you let all that go and just be.
Yeah.
And so that stuff affects you. And it's the same thing. All like that. That might simply open up somebody's brain. Even if they don't do that, it might make them realize, oh, I can just do whatever. Like
you just said, whatever.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where those things come from. They come from our speaking.
Yeah. And you, anything you want to say before we go on that? Now on Suno and the other programs, like we've got a lot of people out there who are hating it.
Yeah.
I have literally, for those who still think I'm really young, I'm 57 years old. I just let everybody, they were thinking, let them keep thinking I was that young. I sat and watched over and over and over as the new technology came in, the disdain for it. Like when I first got it was an EPS 16 Plus, and I had 2 of them. What we were doing,
what does it
it's
do?
a sampler.
Okay, sampler.
It's a sampler. It cost me $2,600. I got 2 of them.
You remember that? Yeah.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I remember that. But again, that when the drummers, like the drummers, to this day, the live drummers are here and they add something. The drum machines also add something. Right now in Suno, as much as people are hating it, there's a lot of people out there who've gotten sued.
Yep.
Let's just take one aspect of it. A lot of people who've gotten sued. So if I go and I take like Sting, I can get sued. But if I create something, if I create an instrumental with Suno, if I like chopping up samples, I can chop the stuff up myself, not get sued, and have this original sound. So for me, I'm if I get tired of getting sued or getting takedown notices or anything like that, there's that. We have something with her where this guy did a dope beat. It was dope, but he didn't have the original files where I can go in and mix it, or somebody can go in and take the kick, snare separate. So we did the recording, did the mix, and then I muted everything except her vocal, threw it into Suno. I told Suno to copy that instrumental, and it gave me a cleaner version of that instrumental. But the other thing that it did was, as it added sounds, her vocal was playing as it was processing, and it made it to where it stayed out of the way of her vocal while the sound was there. In other words, it mixed it.
Yeah.
So you hear her vocal clear, and yet you hear the other music that was there.
And what do you do with that information? How does
What
it
do you
help
mean?
Well, in other words, you just heard AI do that. Now, what do you do with that information? Do you actually send it out as AI recorded it, or do you use it?
That's
for your
going to be
own?
a release.
Oh, okay.
Oh yeah,
Right.
I've
All
got
right.
2 different versions of that. That's going to be a release. So it's really her singing,
Right.
and
Okay.
he's going to get the composer credits because he composed it.
Right.
And then like there's the original composition that she may put out, and then there's that which is like if I give you sheet music and you remake it, you still. But all this hate for it, yes, there's reasons to hate. There were reasons to hate the drum machine.
Sure.
I'm telling y'all, I'm one of the people. I'm realizing so much stuff from working with Suno that I'm running forward with
Right.
it.
You're using it to become a better creator. That's what
Right.
I'm saying.
Oh yeah.
Not to do
Oh, yeah.
all the creating for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Not
So
like,
Because
hey,
then
make a
AI just
Justin Bieber
replaces you.
song. Yeah.
I did a song and like when me and Olga we were working, we did her song country,
Yeah.
R&B, pop, all kinds of different versions, and you're sitting there like if you're stuck into thinking that your song has to be done a certain way, it is an eye opener. And then it's like I could perform it this way, I could perform it that way. It's like having a great co-writer.
Yeah, and your own, like, I think of it also as like having your own studio band there at any moment you want them to play something
Yeah.
for you, to see what it feels like, to see what's happening.
Yeah.
But the creative
Yeah.
side is where the singers got to stay, is kind of where I was heading. Was if the singers don't stay creative, then AI can just boot them out.
So even on that, so there's a lot of singers or artists of any craft who don't really go all in. And so here comes AI, and it is like, this thing is beating me. I better step my game up. Now, when we say iron sharpens iron, AI could be the iron that you use to sharpen your iron. It's like, this thing just sang this better than I did.
Yeah.
You tell it to sing it angry, and you're halfway sing it angry, you're halfway invested, and AI did it better, more emotional, when I say better. So, but when you go to perform live in front of an audience, now I remember the Chipmunks. I love the Chipmunks.
But
They had these songs.
It's a trick. Yep.
But when you go to sing live, we still want that human connection. Like when I see a live drummer, it blows me away sometimes, this live drumming stuff. Just like
His
drum
body
beats.
language. Yeah.
Yeah, man. So if you have a singer, okay, so a song comes on and says, I love you forever and come here, baby, give me a kiss. And it's like, oh, that's cool. But then let someone who's attractive stand in front of you singing, look you dead in the eye, and say, ooh, I love you, baby, come here, give me a kiss. And like lean towards you. Man, that's a whole different reality.
Yep. But that's
So-
what you got to do on the mic.
Yeah, the human thing
Yeah.
is still going to be around. I'm encouraging everybody to embrace it because
Yeah.
literally you will learn and grow. I have zero fear of AI. I'm loving it.
And Matt wanted to talk a little bit about songwriting today, and it's a great tool for that. You know,
Oh, yeah.
those singers who are learning from Ella Langley here, learning to be creative, learning to do your own thing. Suno can be a great structure to work with.
Yeah.
To help you, because Maya, like he said, it doesn't sing, it doesn't play the instruments. He writes lyrics. He writes, he knows melodies. So when AI plays things back for him, that just increases his creativity. What, exponentially? Yeah.
Well, if I have to get up at 3 a.m. and I need a singer, if I call either one of these two at 3 a.m. and their phone actually rings, I'm gonna get some talking to the
Yeah.
next morning.
Yeah, you're
But-
not Quincy Jones. You can't pull that one.
Yeah, and but with the AI, I can actually demo multiple different styles. Like I can have this. I can say, I want to see what it sounds like saying happy country. I want to see what it sounds like angry R&B. Whatever. I can sit there and get different versions and figure out what do I really want. Change it into a man. So when it was Quincy Jones and them and that unlimited budget, that's how I feel now.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got kind of an unlimited budget. I can afford this $10 a month or whatever. Like, I actually have the studio version, but I can actually go in and say, I want a choir behind this. I want a gospel male choir. Okay, I want a gospel female choir. I want, like, whatever, and sit there and experiment like a painter and come up with something and then present it for somebody to... I'm still all about the artist,
Yeah, I was gonna
me
say, 'cause
personally.
Then after that, when you go work with Olga or Monae, you have a lot more to offer.
Oh, yeah.
In instructing them as to what you want.
Yeah.
And helping them feel it too.
You would see producers say, sing it like, I want you to slide into it like, now you can get these demos and hear and be like, you know what? Okay, wait. Slid in.
Crescendo.
Yeah, you can sit here and
the
know
dynamics,
what
yeah.
you want them to do because you have the actual recording. They don't even have to hear it. You say, no, I need you to slide into, like, you can sit there and use this as an example where they don't even hear it and you can talk them through it because you know what you want, because here's what you want. You've created what you want.
You ever
then
slow Suno down and listen back?
I have not yet.
That would be interesting.
Yes. But what's beautiful is I can sing sounding like a dog dying
Without sounding like Olga, yeah.
and say, yeah, make it
Teasing,
sound like
teasing.
a blah blah blah, and it'll sing it as long as I have the melody and I get the emotion and type it out. It'll take that and stop. It won't be me singing anymore. It'll be somebody actually, you know.
Or strings. I've tried this Suno Studio where I just say, I want this melody to be like that. You know, call and response. I say a response to be this melody, and it's awesome. I think it's so great.
Did you sing the melody?
I sing the melody, and then it would turn it into a cello or violin or something like that.
Yeah.
So it's fun. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, it's very
They used to
cool.
call that MIDI mic, yeah. And there's still a program you can do that. You just sing into your mic at the notes you want. So if you want the bass to go boom, 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 then when you play it back, it's actually a sample of a bass playing what you just sang.
So I can bring Mr. Bohannon from Fresno in here and say, hey, I want you to play do-do-do-do-do-do, or, and then he plays it, or I can tell Suno, I can just record that in the Suno, say this is a live stand-up bass, boom, and it plays it.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
same thing.
But again, back to the creativity. These are just tools, guys. So what we're learning from Ella is what we're talking about with Suno and everything else. We just want to learn. This show is about learning so that you can create. So what we're going to do next is Olga is going to sing along. She's already done the one where she missed on purpose. I'm gonna play it twice for you, Olga, so get in the groove.
Yeah.
Then she's going to do her unison with Ella, and then we're going to record her, and then we'll all listen back to it. And why are we going to do that? I'll tell you. Just hang in there. Here we go. Let me pull this back on the stage. All right. Oops, wrong software. There we go. All right. Here we go.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. Bold hang tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Okay, playing it again. I'm just going to loop it so I don't have to bother with this. Where'd it go? Okay. Loop.
All those different inflections.
There's an old comedian who used to say, I got a million of them. She's got a million inflections. But we're not trying to say it's going to be hard to learn this. You just have to do the listening. It's not really... you can actually say, if you've got ears and a voice, you can do this. You don't need a book about it or anything like that. You can do it just by listening. But the Sync for Feel book saves you a lot of time, and the Sync for Feel videos save you a lot of time. Here we go.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. Bold hang tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing. Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. The Monae to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Right on. So y'all heard how close she was. Now we're going to record her so that she can hear herself back, because it goes back to tracing. We're actually doing some tracing right now. We're singing along with Ella, but how Olga got this close was not by just singing over and over with Ella. It was listening, so that she absorbed, or if you want to say imprinted, into her mind exactly what Ella was doing, so that when she's singing, she's just doing what she heard. She's not trying to catch every little thing that Ella's doing at the time. She's already done that work. So when we hear it back, we'll all get a sense of where it was right. Now, I like to talk a lot about neuroprogramming. When you're trying to learn something new, and this is 21st century stuff, they didn't believe this back in the day, you don't beat yourself up for doing something wrong, because that's what you'll memorize. Your muscle memory will make you always do it wrong, because you kept focusing, that's wrong, that's wrong, that's wrong. So instead, we focus on where was the unison. I got it, I got it, I got it. The parts where you missed, those are going to be obvious. You don't have to think about them. So let's record it so that Olga can move on to the next step. Here we go.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. The Monae to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Okay, let's listen back to that. It's interesting.
I have to admit, I am having some trouble hearing it, but
I can turn it
okay.
up for you.
Okay.
Yeah, so next time we'll do that. I just want to make sure that my settings are right. Black hole device is 16, and then the recording device is 64. The audio settings are correct.
I think I can hear. I think it's more my voice in there, but it's okay.
Yeah, well, this is what one of the things that everybody learns by using headphones and mics is how to mix things. But what we do have another thing that's happening. We have my audio in here. I'm not sure if it's affecting Audacity or not, but it doesn't matter. We're all here to learn. We'll figure this out. Okay, we're listening back. There we go.
The Monae to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Very close, huh? Did you guys hear that? I'm going to turn Ella up a little bit louder. Let's listen to the unison. Now, unison is when two singers can't tell who's who anymore. Olga doesn't know if she's Olga, and Ella doesn't know if she's Ella. Of course, Ella is the recording, so that's not quite the right. But when they're together, we can't tell the difference, and that's how you know when a unison is. We're listening again.
Monae to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Okay. So she learned a lot from that because she got it mostly right. That's what we're here for. Now, the next part of this demonstration is, what is she going to do with this? We've been talking about you need to be yourself. You need to be an artist. How are you going to handle that? Well, we're going to do what we did earlier. We're going to mute Ella's voice, and I'm going to put it back at the original tempo because Olga has figured it out at the original tempo. So this is a demonstration of how that works. Let's undo this track remove. Just a couple of things here. And there we go. Undo tempo. Okay, so with the stem splitter, we've been able to remove Ella. Now, I'll play Ella a little bit for you, Olga, so that you know what's happening, and then I'll mute her just before you start singing.
Okay.
We found that works a lot better. So this is like a lesson for everybody. It's a lesson for Olga. It's a lesson for me. It's a lesson for you guys tuning in. It's great, man. We're learning something that is not taught by anybody else that I know of. Here we go.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain. The Monae to the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Something like that.
Oh, exactly. Did everybody hear the difference? Drop a 1 in the chat box if you heard that she didn't sound like Ella Langley there. I mean, a little bit, right?
I think I got into the groove at like near the end as I kept going with the song, but,
All good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, of course, if we were actually trying to create a recording for Olga to sing, we'd spend a lot more time than this. This is a lesson rather than an actual production. But, again, and Mayat mentioned other ways of when you're in the studio using different tools to help the singer. So this is just one thing that you could do on your own time and get your own feel. And then, of course, what you do then, and I'm going to go ahead and record you doing that this time. This is what Olga's next participation would be. Here we go. We're recording you, Olga. Here we go.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain.
Them old hang tunes and Memphis blues we used to sing.
Cool. Now we're listening back without Ella there because we're only interested in what Olga did. Now what Olga's going to be doing here, I'll shorten this playback. She's going to be listening for what she liked and what she didn't like, what she might want to change.
Them old hang tunes and Memphis blues we used to sing.
So different riff, different timing. She didn't do the, right? Because she doesn't want to copy exactly what Ella did. She heard it. She thought it was cute. It was great. It's in her mind now. So what do you think, Olga?
I don't know, because this second verse, I feel like I can start getting into a little bit more. So
sure.
I mentioned, I guess the way that it was recorded with Ella is more just very forward and light. Mm-hmm. And then, but I feel the need to just go out a little bit more to maybe have a little bit more volume or intensity, I think. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
Brad,
just let me say this first.
Oh, go ahead.
So now we're going to be kind of getting into what Sing from Feel is in production sense. And again, Mayat uses it extremely well, so his opinion is very valuable. So please go ahead.
What's dope about this, Brad? When the thing, like say you buy a red Chevrolet whatever, and then you notice it everywhere.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, I'm used to hearing Olga sing, and when she just sang right now, there's little nuances that are in there that she wouldn't normally like. Oh, Olga, do you notice that you were singing with nuances?
Yes, with like more country nuances now.
Yeah, there's there's flat out little nuances, and they matter. Like if you go listen to "She's Out of My Life" with Michael Jackson, there's little, even breaths, like little nuances that matter big time, and you were doing them in this. So whereas you might think, oh, I made a mistake, whatever, I'm hearing these little nuances, and it makes, by you doing these exercises, you focusing on these nuances, your brain starts adjusting to that, to where even if you don't mean to, you might be somewhere walking, you might hear a flute play and you hear the nuances in the flute, or somebody might talk to you and you start hearing the little nuances in what they're doing, that type of stuff. And then as you sing, like I said, it expands your vocabulary. When I say vocabulary, not just what you taught, your vocabulary as in what you're doing, your tools. Like you're flat out doing nuances, even if you don't catch that you're doing nuances. You're doing kung fu, even if you don't realize it.
Okay. Awesome.
Your opponent's on the floor, and that's all you remember. How'd they get on the floor? I don't know. So, we'll do that. We'll team up on poor Olga here. Actually, she's going to love it. So, Olga, what do those words mean to you?
Oh, okay. So I had to use not imagery, but in my mind. So my husband likes bluegrass. And so I had to pretend that he forgot about those times that we would just listen to bluegrass in the car, So that's kind of what I started applying what you guys are teaching me. Yeah.
What about the actual words?
The actual words.
Do they have any emotional meaning to it all? Now, they may not. I picked this song, Olga didn't, so.
Yes. I would say I wouldn't necessarily pick those specific words. Yeah, I would say. I was trying to relate those Memphis blues and old hang tunes to a bluegrass. There's something that we used to do together.
So that's, what do they call that? It's not hindsight, but it's like you're remembering a memory. What's that called, Maya? When songwriters use it all the time. When a song reminds you of a particular time in your life.
Like reminiscing? No.
Reminiscing, yes, thank you, yeah. So she was reminiscing, okay? So that feel comes out. She's reminiscing, so we feel it. Did you hear that, Maya?
Well, what I was going to say, yes, but what I was going to say is, so, y'all, look at Olga's face, you guys. Olga.
Yes.
If she already knows. When it's talking about chase the blues away, if you were upset, what could your son or daughter do to chase the blues away?
They can just start making silly faces, dancing in front of me.
Silly faces and dancing in front of you? Like what? What do you mean?
To chase the blues away? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
What could they do to make my sadness go away?
Yeah. If your son was trying to chase the blues away, what would he do?
Chasing the blues away means getting rid of the blues, right?
Making you happy and smile.
Exactly. So they would dance. Yes.
You guys see the reaction that she's doing? That genuine reaction. If I say, okay, sing. What's going to happen is, because she's feeling that, sing from feel, because she's feeling that, it will be in the recording, even if she doesn't want it to be.
And that's what we're going to do next. Ready,
Okay.
Olga?
Okay. So now
Can you assimilate, feel those things inside?
okay.
See your son. Feel
Dancing.
Chasing the blues away.
Got it.
And how your reflection of the bluegrass is how they used to sing. All right, here we go. This is fun. I love this. All right, so I'll put her in so you can hear the timing. I'll give you more notice this time. We'll go back a little bit so you can feel the rhythm, get into it.
He's choosing Texas, I can tell.
That'll get you into it.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain.
Them old hang tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing.
That changed.
It did. Let's
Yeah.
record that now. So now you could let yourself feel it even more differently. Because we're human beings, we're dynamic. We don't feel like we did 5 minutes ago now. Okay, so that's what recordings capture. I love the saying that a recording memorializes that particular time of your life. That particular moment, that particular feeling, it memorializes. Here we go. I'll bring her back in.
Guess he forgot about the Smoky Mountain rain.
Them old hang tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing.
See, everybody, every time is going to be a little different. Listening back for Olga. See what you did?
Them old hang tunes, the Memphis blues we used to sing.
Now, this is where it gets really subjective. Because Olga sang it, she heard one thing. Because Mayat is Mayat, he heard another. Because out there, you're who you are, or Monae, you heard different too. I heard something different. That's art. Chime in, Mayat.
So when people are making movies, if you guys ever pay attention to them, the director may have them do different performances, because in the end you might not know what you actually want by just saying it, but you can feel it. And then say Olga does a performance, say we have her do 5 takes, and they're all these different things. This one take might be wonderful, but what comes after it might not work with that, and it might be another take that sets that thing up. And so when it comes to the craft, it's not just a performance, it's how does the whole song work together. And then you like, she might come in and put a whole different thing together and have us affected. Brad do it and comp these vocals together and have a whole different feeling. All of them make us feel something, but the thing is to have that emotion in there so that we can play with it. Like
Yeah.
I have sat and listened to Michael Jackson vocals as a kid where there's 3, I think it was just 3 takes. I thought all 3 takes were flawless personally, but they were all different. And it's like, which one do you use? Oh, they happen to choose take 1. But there's take 2, and say you might want the end of take 1 on take 2, like whatever. But you want that performance inside them. This time when you sang Olga, there was bass that was out of your voice. It was more like up. There was a whole different feel on this. Just by
language.
just by us having that little conversation and you going into your head picturing your son, your daughter, whatever. It just totally changed.
Yeah.
So are you leaning into comping? Or are you kind of talking about comping as well, Maya?
I brought it up.
That. Do you want to explain comping as it is, how it works?
So if I have, let's just take the first verse. If we don't have Olga singing from beginning to end, we just focusing on the first verse, and we get these different emotional performances. I might like the beginning of take. If she sings it 5 times, I might like the beginning of take 1 and the end of take 5, and you piece them together and see how they work together. That comping is a composition, composite, putting things together to make them work as one. But I've really gotten into singing from beginning to end.
Yeah,
but,
I like that.
Yeah. There's just this different thing.
Stay in the story that way. When you take sections, you kind of, well, what's the story about? I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
And then there's performances out there where a person can't actually sing what's on CD because there's no breaths at all.
Yeah,
we might comp a vocal together, which is simply you're taking pieces of the performance and making a new performance out of them. So like Bill Cammett, he was saying there's this Guitar Hero thing where he's trying to get this solo down, this long solo, like, man, if he could do it, I could do it. Then he hears Jimmy Douglas talking about he pieced that together from several performances.
I was going crazy.
And Bill's been for like 2 years trying to get this thing down, and the guy who did it never did it like that. It was a pieced performance. You know.
Some people get mad about that. I don't get mad about that. I mean, I might get frustrated because I was trying to get. There's a great story about a flautist who was playing along with this record, and the flautist on the record was playing a note she couldn't find on her flute. Just didn't exist. And then she finally got to a workshop where this flautist was there, and she went up and says, "How do you get that note?" They says, "Well, they sped it up." So they changed the pitch on the recording, so it's not possible to play that note on the flute. But as a producer, Maya, what you're trying to do is give people something of value. And I like to say, this is a little bit dramatic, but would you enjoy the movie Star Wars if they took all the special effects out of there just because you thought they were cheating?
Not at all. We love the special effects.
Yeah, so they're just special effects. Comping, adding reverb, adding echo, maybe sometimes moving the pitch a little bit because it feels better. You don't need to get upset about that. Just like, hey, man, they did it for me and I'm enjoying it. That's all you need to care about. And when you're the artist in the chair, you get to make the same choices. Now, it's another thing I want to ask Olga. So when you're working with Mayat and he's making all these decisions, do you trust him?
Yes, I do. I really like having him as my vocal producer for sure, because there's a ton of other emotion or so many different ways of singing a song. If he says, try to get into this character. One time he had me do an exercise where I had to be singing a song I wrote through my mother's eyes, through my father's eyes, and then one time he'd made me try to do it through his eyes, and then I got all like jumpy. He's like, oh, okay, I guess I'm like, so, and it was just interesting because, just have to just have to get into the emotion, and then it really does produce something different. So.
Now what about when he starts the mixing? Do you trust him to do that?
We actually haven't done that yet. We haven't done him mixing anything, but I know that he has a lot of feedback for mixing or ideas on how I can communicate. So how Mott has been helping me is helping me, I guess, develop to become business savvy, but also have the right verbiage to communicate to producers that I work with, because it's not just him that I've worked with, it's also other people, and he's helped me to network and meet these people and helped me to express what it is that I need to express so that I hear what I want to hear in the end.
So all my Pensado brother and sisters out there, from
Yeah.
Pensado students, the people that I presently work for, they may have no idea that I know how to mix or anything. Like, now, and another thing on the reality is you've been lied to your whole life about music and entertainment. You've been lied to. If you go listen to stuff from back in the day and they're flawless, a lot of that stuff is recorded stuff that they're singing back to. Or was it the Monkeys? They session musicians.
That's the marketing.
A lot of stuff is a lie. The beautiful thing is when the truth walks in the building and actually sings to you, that will, so there's lies and there's truth, and we do it all.
Yeah, and Ella's really about the truth, so I picked her. So what I teach, and I think I've mentioned this to you, Olga, is that once your vocal is done, like Mayat says, hey, I got what I want, you just go home and let him do his thing, right?
Yes, I have to trust him. Yeah.
Yeah. In the real world of the record production, if you go in there and you try to tell the producer what to do after you've done your vocals, you'll ruin it. Because the producer's job, and one of the things that makes a great producer is when this great producer hears something and really loves it, for whatever reason, most people love it too. Now, that's why you got to trust them. Say, look,
It's not easy to let go though.
No,
sometimes.
it's really hard.
Yeah, when
really
you hear it, you're just like,
I've
Monae, because there are certain
because I was in my head like, well, I kind of want to hear what the producer did and just make sure it's
Yeah.
You got to get out, Monae. You got to
It's
get
all
out of the
learning.
way.
Yeah.
Because when you try to listen to yourself, it's like talking to yourself. It's a one-way conversation. Because you recorded it. You're the one who said the words. You're the one who said the emotions. Now you're listening back to yourself. It's like having a one-way conversation. It really doesn't sell well. But when you trust your producer, and that producer has a good ear for what other people react to, then those people are going to love what you just did, and you can just walk away. You just, okay, you're in control, or whoever's going to mix it, whatever. I've done my vocal. I've expressed my emotions. It's all there. You guys go for it. I'm leaving.
I agree. That's why it's really important to do your research, and you
Yes.
want to really know who is mixing and producing your record.
Absolutely.
So you don't end up having to over-investigate.
Yeah, 'cause if you have to do that, then probably it's time to scratch the project and move on.
Pretty much, yeah.
Part of being a producer is taste, but we don't always succeed. Like nothing is always successful, and sometimes like the artist might be right. Sometimes grandma sitting in a corner might be right. She has nothing to do with music. She said, "Baby, that second one is the one."
They can feel it.
Yeah. And the real test is playing it for other people. Like there are songs. One of the guys was talking about on a Biggie album. The ching ching cowbell was way too loud, and the whatever else is way too loud. But when that song comes on and I hear that ting ting ting, I'm hey, and Puff Daddy was right.
Yeah.
But mix wise, and so what you really in today's abilities we can go and do multiple presentations, and so I can actually do a presentation according to what Monae says. Whatever, man, and then do one that I say, my wife, what do you say, and then play it for people,
focus groups,
and see how people, it doesn't have to be it's this way, we can do different versions.
Yeah, and back to songwriters. Songwriters have to do the same thing too, because they can't tell if they've written a hit. Yeah, or even if if they think they did, when they actually put it out there. That's the test, do people like it or they don't, and if they don't like it, we go back to the drawing board. If they like it, hey, let's keep going, right?
All the time.
Both Mayat and I being Grammy members have been to many seminars where they've interviewed great songwriters, and that's what they tell you. They don't know if they wrote a hit. They don't even know how they did what they did. They don't necessarily have a strict formula, so they don't really know what's going to happen to that song until it's out there, and it's the same thing for the singers and the musicians. They can't be sure what's going to happen until it gets out there and you get some opinions. And then, if Maya wants to go back to the drawing board and Monae wants to do that, they can do that again, or they could just say, hey, this is cool, we love it, this is what's going out. But it takes a lot of hours and time. So when you listen to a great recording and you think that you should be able to do that in 5 minutes just because, you heard the record, what we're showing you here is that it takes time. Not pain, not suffering, unless you're working on that particular part of a song, but just do it. Just keep doing it. Just keep doing it. And Mayat's a great example of somebody who just keeps doing it and doing it and doing it and doing it. And I've seen him grow over the last 10 years. He's just grown and grown and grown. He knows so much more. Sometimes he knows a lot more than I do because he's been having experiences that I've never had. So when we talk, we get to share. Oh, that's cool. You went through that. Oh, I've been talking about Suno ever since Mayat brought it up. I tell everybody about what Mayat says about Suno because it's great information. Okay, we have a treat. Now, Monae is a singer, which we've kind of inferred is that somebody that Mayat's been producing. So she's going to sing some a cappella for us of one of her songs, or one of the songs that Mayat's gone. Now he's going to take over.
Y'all see the look on her face?
Does she know?
And
I
so
was
he's
wondering
gonna
what I was doing here.
Yeah, exactly. He's going to coach her. He's going to coach her through this process of Sing from Feel, and you guys get to watch and see how it works. As long as Monae says it's okay. Now, if she says, no, I'm not doing this, we're all cool with that, too.
Bring it.
Question. I had a song in my head. I thought about having you sing, but what's on your heart as far as actually singing? Like, if you could sing
I was
something
prepared
that's
to sing
yours.
We Will Always Be Together.
Okay, yeah, I was going to say, as long as it's yours.
Okay.
So real quick, Bill Withers, what was that song? Grandma's Hands.
Yeah.
Tell him what you did, since I was telling you so much about whatever. Tell him what you did to do that rendition that you did.
So, the Grandma's Hands. So I wanted to cover Grandma's Hands, but I worked with the producer. His name was Tom Genius. We did an amazing job. We kind of studied for hours the whole Motown sound, kind of the tricks that they were doing, what settings they were using, the presets. We even went as far to kind of see how in the video on the guitar they would kind of put the sponge in between the strings to get that certain sound. So we were trying to kind of size up the things we were watching in the documentaries of achieving the Motown sound. We were watching original recordings of Michael Jackson and how he even got those songs. And then what we did was kind of try to find it in the presets on the computer. So I will say Tom Genius did an amazing job at that. And it sounded, we used absolutely no auto-tune. I was trying to make it a goal to sound as if I sang at the time Bill Withers was alive. If I were to do something at that time instead of at this time. I was trying to kind of go in a time capsule. And it came out amazing just from studying everything that they did, certain pitches that they would use, having the breath in there, which I notice a lot of artists these days, they kind of cut the breaths and little things that I think add more feeling to songs. They kind of take it out these days.
Sometimes that's the engineer, not the singer.
Okay, yeah. I like those things. It makes me feel it more, and so it just came out really beautiful, and it sounded like it was my version of Grandma's Hands at the same time that Grandma's Hands actually came out. So it was really amazing, and it was fun to go into a deep dive to really understand the dynamics of how they were recording at that time.
You just said something that I will humbly say that Vocal Muse as a product is not necessarily totally my idea. Musicians have been doing this and record producers have been doing this kind of research for years. They, like you said, they want to find out how the guitar made that sound. They want to know. Singers, they just keep on singing. They don't know, they don't know what Aretha Franklin did. They don't know what Bill Withers did. They're just singing along. But when you do this kind of thing, it changes everything. That's so brilliant what you're talking about. And I remember as a guitar player, I used to sit down and try to get the licks just right, get the pick across the string to get the right feel. But as a singer, I was making the same mistake. I was just singing the song. I wasn't hearing all this stuff. So, boy, way to back that up. Thank you. Okay, what do you want to do from there?
Now on the just a little bit backstory, you guys. On the Sing from Feel, I had heard about Sing from Feel, and I had no idea who did it. I knew about Seth Riggs and what he was doing, but I wasn't grasping whatever, and I had lost. There's this thing where I went so technical, I lost my humanity. So I'm doing music, which is about emotion, and I had no emotion. There was nothing emotional. I was a computer nerd, like technical, and so this Sing from Feel, I wanted to learn about that, and it's crazy because we were Impensado students, and Brad came in, we were talking and stuff, and he's like, I love these conversations. I had no idea this dude was the Sing from Feel dude. I had no clue that he was the one who created Sing from Feel. And he started helping me and developing. We did all these videos online where he was working with artists, and I ended up learning the Sing from Feel stuff without having any idea that I was with the actual man himself. But it helped. What he did was help me. He's part of what helped me get back to my humanity. Because I'm telling you, if you worked with me during that time, there was nothing about emotion. I was on some technical stuff. Like I wanted to be able, I was taking acoustic rock kits, and turning them into sounding like Dr. Dre's master tracks. And I got real good at it to where my mix of the drums were knocking like Dr. Dre's master tracks. And every time I'd figure something out and then move on to the next. And so now I'm off into the songwriting and then working with the artist. But the Sing from Feel, when I'm doing it, I've got what Brad has taught me, what movie directors have said, because I had to figure out what, like Brad would say, we don't want to act. And then I found out, wait, the movie directors are saying what Brad is saying. They want an authentic performance. They want the real deal, not somebody pretending. I'm like, oh, what is their approach? Yeah, I was like, what is their approach to getting that? And so I've been incorporating all of that stuff. Now, we did a song called We Will Always Be Together. It was a 2-hour write here at the office. And a relative of hers had just died. It just so happens that when I was young, like 13, 14, these grown dudes were talking about beating me up. These two guys stood up for me and made those guys back down. These dudes were, they'd whoop your butt. But I was getting ready to fight them, knowing I'm finna lose. I was scared too. But these two grown men stood up to these other two grown men, and these two grown men who would mess with me did not want it. They did, and they happened to be, what is it, your cousins? Mm-hmm. Her cousin. So she's in there talking about the flower. What was it, Ronnie Flowers?
Ronnie.
I'm like, hold on, I know this dude. And so she started talking about it. So we wrote a song called, I named it at first Etched in My Heart, but it became We Will Always Be Together. And it's about, well, first, you explain what it's about, and then I'll explain what I take it for.
Well, I am at a time in my life where, the 30s come fast. And it's kind of a realization point for me. It's when you realize that your loved ones are getting older. You have X amount of years left with, for me, it was truly about my grandparents. And it's like, it's approaching a time where all I'm going to have is like the memories that I have built in my heart from everything that we've seen and done together over the years. But it's like you're realizing that life is short. Like, I got that people always used to say life is short, but like, I think for me, getting into my 30s is when I was like, dang, life is really short. So like, you can't take for granted the moments with your loved ones, and like, even when they're gone, it'll still kind of be etched in your heart. So my writing, let me get to the point. So basically, this was me writing from a place of, I don't want to say sorrow, but just realization that, it's coming to a time where the people I look up to, my elders, my mentors, are getting older. And so that's just something that's going to forever be stuck with me and etched in my heart, everything that I've learned from them. And then it's going to be up to me to be that elder for the next generation.
And so Ronnie,
you are,
go ahead.
They are a part of you. I mean, you are not. You are you because of them. Part of it.
Right.
Part of what? Yeah, it's really cool.
And so Ronnie was in a casket. They had just had his funeral. I'm sitting here like one day I'm gonna be able to go and thank Ronnie when I find this dude, blah blah blah. And then here she ends up talking about Ronnie Flowers, and I'm like, hold on now. So we did this whole song where my job, as we wrote the lyric, was a writing from feel.
Wow.
You got to sing from feel. Well, we were writing from feel. I'm sitting in here egging her on, doing my best. I don't know what she think I was doing, but I was sitting there like, okay, I need to make, what else could I ask? So Monae, so he was in a casket, and explain how he looked in the casket. I'm doing that type of stuff to where she's emotional, and then stuff is coming out of her left and right. We had so much stuff, we didn't even use some of the stuff. But so here he is. You didn't go to the funeral, right?
No.
See, some stuff is a bit much for you. So here's this funeral that just took place. She's feeling some kind of way. We're writing about it, and then like 8 hours later or something, we're recording it. And when we start recording it, the engineer, when we were in there, Kui, he's looking at me as I'm saying certain things like, man, what's wrong with you, bro? Like, and then what she's singing about, his wife had died years ago, and so he's sitting there feeling some kind of way. So now you got the engineer feeling some kind of way. Everybody in there is feeling some kind of way. So when they go to make their moves, this stuff affects their emotion. I'm telling you, this stuff affects the whole room.
Yeah.
And so that's what this lyric is. It's called "We Will Always Be Together."
Do you want me to play some of this, or all of it?
Would you please?
Sure. You want to hear all of it, or just part of it? We'll just
Play
do all of
It's
it.
up to you.
Play the whole thing, and then we'll have her sing, and we'll go through it.
All right, here we go.
Everybody's getting old, and so am I. Watching my loved ones go, waiting on my turn to die. Another loved one going home, all out of tears to cry. All the ones I looked up to, they now live in the sky. We will always be together, even when we're apart. Holding on to your memory forever, etched in my heart. We will always be together, even when we're apart. Holding on to your memory, and it's etched in my heart. So many of my angels, I wish I could hug one more time. Don't know how I'll get through, but Lord knows I'll try. We will always be together, even when we're apart. Holding on to your memory forever, etched in my heart. We will always be together, even when we're apart. Holding on to your memory, 'cause it's etched in my heart. is not a building. Home is not a location, no. Home is a feeling. One day I'll see you there and reach for your embrace. One day my soul will rest and finally end this race. We will always be together, even when we're apart. Holding on to your memory, forever etched in my heart.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm honored that Sing for Feel had something to do with that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah, I'm really.
It's, yeah.
And so now,
Yeah.
now watch, Brad. So Monae, I'm gonna die before you. So I need you to pinky promise that you'll sing that at my funeral.
Pinky promise.
Y'all see this, right? She pinky promising to sing this at my funeral. I want my family to hear this. Okay, Mama Reeves,
After
we're
I
gonna be
get
preaching.
pulled out the casket.
So again, this is a couple of days after the funeral. I'm in there saying stuff to trigger her, and it's what we call a cold game. Like I'll say stuff that Brad wouldn't say this stuff. Like Brad's a nice guy.
Who says?
Me, man, and like when Olga was crying, and she got into it emotionally, and we were like, ooh, the engineer's looking at me, like, but that emotion that came with Olga is like, wow, whoa, so on singing this, we're not gonna get all like what I did. I'm not gonna do you all like that. It's real dangerous when you ask me to work with an artist. Whenever I'm out there working with the artist, you guys be careful of what you write, because that's what we got to get into. So
You
if
don't want to feel it. Don't get my out in there. Yeah.
It's such a vulnerable place.
So
Same
if
with
you're,
me. You may have noticed this, Matt. Sometimes when you're working with somebody, and all of a sudden they feel something, you can tell right away they didn't want to be there.
yeah, and they'll run from it. And
Yeah.
oh yeah,
Yeah, and then you got to deal with that.
yeah.
Maybe being a great artist, or at least this particular subject matter, maybe we should avoid.
Artistry has a lot to do with therapy sessions.
Yeah.
It really goes together.
Yeah. And thank you for writing this song, honestly. It is so beautiful. Like every time I had heard it once before, it got me teary again. I'm like, oh, I was so excited. I'm just, yeah.
And,
I love it so much.
Monae and I were talking a little bit before we started the show that, when you do something so powerful like this, you're going to draw haters. And that's okay. That's proof that you did an incredible job. So is anybody who ever hears this thing and goes, I'm not into funerals, and that's good. They felt that you were into funerals, and they didn't want to be there. That's sometimes that's better proof than when they tell you how great you are. Now, of course, money really tells you how great you are. Because they're not going to shell out money for your concert. They're not going to shell out money for your recording unless they really feel something.
Right.
But I was thinking that, man, if anybody didn't feel that, I don't know, maybe they should see a psychiatrist. You must be really blocked up inside if you didn't get any sensation of that song. What a great duo you guys are.
And see, I'm going to ask friends, musical friends. I'm going to send them the acapella and say, look, I don't want to tell you what to do. Compose something to this and see what everybody does. I want to hear all kinds of different renditions of music done to this. But now, would you like? There was I didn't do tricks on her vocals. This is
it's
her.
Raw.
Yeah, it's her.
See, you and Ella Langley, man, right on the same page.
And she's going to do stuff where she has auto-tune and she's going to do all this artistic stuff. But like when I tell her, when you get with me, we're going to do this. And you want to learn, I would like for her to learn the auto-tune stuff where she can go anywhere she wants and she doesn't have to depend on the engineer for the tricks that she wants. But now with me, what I'm focusing on is that type of thing. Now, before we...
I'm not sure what that meant. You wanted to do what on auto-tune?
I want her to be able to do whatever tricks, like with auto-tune and whatever.
Oh, you mean engineer it herself?
Yeah.
What he's saying is
Melodyne's not that hard once you learn it. Yeah.
he doesn't want me to use does not allow me to use any tricks. He doesn't want any auto-tune. He wants straight dry raw vocals. He's like, do your auto-tune on your other songs. You can create what you want, but here I have to leave all my auto-tune at the door.
Yeah.
Because the reality is a lot of people are the truth or have that ability to go to the heights, and they never will if somebody doesn't stop and say, hey, you really can, and go for it. Like you got to go for it. And I'm the place where I want to be that place where people go for it.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me give you a great compliment. That's exactly the way Quincy Jones would explain it.
Yeah.
I had to work for him, I know. It's like, you just, his reel or it's out the door.
Yep.
And so when I get the people performing, it really is a thing of what are we trying to achieve? Like if I need them to be happy, we might pull out some comic books. Like we got to do something, whatever it is we can find that actually gets that person that emotion, and then have them sing. And so whoever comes in that room with spouse, child, whatever, they affect that. The recording is a sacred thing. So we may have to kick people out or bring people in, whatever it takes to get them into that mood.
Mm-hmm. Turn the lights out, whatever, yeah.
Whatever.
Put a candle on. Yeah.
So since you say that you know how to sing,
just a little bit, just a little.
You might want to sit back just a little, because it might, yeah. And would you sing
really loud?
Would you sing a bit of it? You don't have to sing all of it. Just sing a bit of it and then stop when you want, just so we can hear that whether or not you can actually sing.
I know, because it totally might be fake. It totally could have been AI. You know, you got to be careful with.
Well, I can play the track again. You can lip sync. We're gonna accuse you. Oh, Monae lip syncs.
You know
my God.
Watch this. You know what? Don't even sing it in order. Pick parts and sing it out of order.
I actually was going to do that.
Oh, good.
Right.
Look at that. I was going to start from the back.
There's a reason. I'll explain why I said that. There's a reason why.
I was thrilled.
I don't know what it is, but I'm all ready for it. I think it's a great idea.
We love it. Okay. So many of my angels, I wish I could hug one more time.
That sounds intimate.
Don't know how I'll get through, but Lord knows I'll try. We will always be together, even when we're apart. Holding on to your memory forever, etched in my heart.
That girl can sing.
Yeah.
Put an applause in the chat box.
Question: besides Ronnie, who died?
A lot.
Like who?
Like this year?
Who died? Period. That you actually care like that.
My neighbor's mom, who was kind of like my godmom. My uncles, my brother.
Your brother? What brother? What do you mean?
I lost a lot of people.
What do you mean, your brother?
Yeah, I had a brother who was killed. I also had a couple. I was close to my boy cousins, so I've lost a lot of male role models in my family, I would say. And then it's more so getting my heart prepared for like losing my grandparents. Is the feeling in this song.
Who got killed that just messed you up?
My favorite cousin, Anthony Washington.
How did
we called him
die?
Wayne.
How did he die?
Gun violence.
What do you mean? What happened?
He was shot.
Did you see it?
No.
So you didn't see any of the bloody clothes?
Nope.
Nothing? Did you attend the funeral?
Yes.
What did you see?
I had to sing at the funeral.
What did you see when you looked in that casket?
Him, my cousin.
Yeah, what did you see? How did it affect you and what did you see?
I mean,
could we ask what did you feel when you looked at it?
Yeah, what did I feel? I was just like, I don't know. I don't really know how to put it in words. It was just, I didn't expect to see him in that way that young. I expected us to get wrinkly together before I had to deal with something like that. So, And it was like we had just seen each other, and we were just like, dang, you're doing so good. He had started accomplishing all his goals that he wanted to accomplish, so it was pretty.
So if you could put all that
unexpected.
into 2 or 3 words, what emotions did you feel during that thought process?
I would say a little disturbed.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the best word I could come up with right now.
What you feel is your business. You know? we just want to kind of get into it and say, oh, how does that happen? And actually, I have kind of a question for you, 2 questions, and then we'll let. I don't mean to interfere, but I just want to get these out for singers. There's 2 things that singers want to know. And do you have a gospel church background?
I do.
Yeah. So they want to know how you do the riffs.
Okay.
And they want to know how to growl.
How to growl?
How to growl. Like, right? Okay.
Oh,
and you
okay.
did that. You did in the song, on the recording, you did that. And you can either say I'm crazy or whatever, but when you made that sound in that recording, were you thinking, I'm going to growl?
No.
Right.
I didn't know I growled until you just told me that.
Oh, really?
I was like,
let me play it for you. It was right about 2 minutes.
I didn't realize it was a growl.
Oh, yeah, check it out. It was right about 2 minutes. I kind of trying to mark it. Hopefully I'll get the right place, but let's listen back.
Wish I could hug one more time. Don't know how I'll get through.
It's a little farther back. There we go.
But Lord,
Oh, you had a little bit of it there, but...
so many of my angels, I
There it is.
wish I could.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so people
Like a little
how do you do
grunt
that?
in there.
They want to say, how do you do that? And they're asking me like it's a technique. But you see, it's not a technique.
I have to give credit to my granny. So I grew up singing in church. I was doing full ballads at 4. So I'm one of those people who, you have your musicians that are like F major, F minor. I have no idea of all that stuff. All I know is that's not on key.
Yeah.
And that's not on key. And it's due to my granny. She's a piano player, and so I was singing at weddings, doing songs from Kelly Price and Kiki Wyatt, some kind of difficult stuff when you're little. So I think it just came from just that gospel background. A lot of like the Clark sisters, just the things that I grew up listening to kind of molded me into the singer that I am. And then I already have like a kind of raspy voice, so I was like, you know what, let me play off that and kind of just...
But it was really purposeful there. So let me play it again and tell me what emotion if you can remember, what emotion did you feel when that growl came out?
And it's etched in my heart. So many of my angels, I wish I could hug one more time.
Can you kind of...
It's the feeling... It's the feeling of how you would actually feel if you got to hug somebody that's really gone. It's literal.
Yes.
It's
Everybody
like
listen to
that's
this.
how
This is
that's how
gold.
it would sound if you know, if you have a grandparent or a mom or dad or a sibling, and like you wake up and like they're there and you get to have one last conversation or one last hug. It's just probably how I would sound.
If I could pay you $1 million for that, I would. That information, all of you that are watching this now or listen to this later, that's incredible information. Now the other thing is the riffs. Everybody wants to know, you know, why the riffs, and do you know when and why you're going to do a riff?
Never.
Okay, that's interesting.
I'm not one of those people. I know there's some artists that I've actually studied, because I study like the artists that I like.
Yeah.
And there are some that, like one of my favorites, Jasmine Sullivan, her riffs are just untouchable. But another mentor of mine made me realize some people sit there and they study those breakdowns. I mean, and then it gets easier to kind of just create. So I think it's probably a mixture of like learning some scales from like gospel artists that I was listening to, but then I just hear stuff and I just do it.
Do you know if it has any particular emotional content, like whether you do or don't do a riff?
I feel like I do the riff when I feel it emotionally.
There we go. Yeah.
To fit in. And sometimes I use my riffs to just fill in a gap or a space, and I just feel like if the beat may not necessarily have anything right there, but I feel like something should go right there. So I'll just do just something. I'm like, okay, it sounds better with that right there.
That's right. So check it out, everybody. She automized all the stuff she got in church. That's in her subconscious, and all of the singers she listened to and everything. Now, when she feels an emotion, this is why we say sing from feel. She has an emotion, and because of all that information in your subconscious, it just goes. It's just there. So when you want to use riffs, and you're just using them just to put them in there, you guys out there who are thinking, oh, riffs are cool, I think you're wasting your time, because if there's no emotion in those riffs, they have no value other than to try to impress somebody. And the people that are impressed with riffs are usually more technical thinking, or they like acrobatics. But Monae's not about that. She's about the real thing. She's about the raw emotion. She's not going to try to do all these riffs to impress you. That's not the point. They're there because when she feels something, they just come out. And this is excellent, Monae. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, my auto, get out of your way. Go ahead.
Now, on both of those, I'm going to give an example. Say you have a plush white carpet that is expensive, it's dirty, and you spend, say, $1,000 to get it cleaned, like shampooed, smelling good, it's fluffy, and then me and Brad been out there playing in the mud, and we come in and we're finna walk on this carpet. That feeling that's that growl.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That's what that is. It's not just I'm growling.
That's right.
It's an emotional expression.
Absolutely.
That. Now, on like your grandmother, right? We know your grandma gonna die.
I got my boxing gloves in the back, y'all.
I don't think you saw that look, my aunt.
I
think you're
looking
dead.
I was looking dead.
You're like dead and you don't know it.
What's your grandmother's name?
Omi Cormier.
Miss Omi, right? Miss Cormier. So I went to school with her grandmother's son, Jacques. He's one of my buddies. We went to the same high school. And so this is his niece. I'm in here working, and this is his niece. It's like I got to take care of my folks.
Yeah.
Miss Cormier, what was your cousin's name?
Anthony Washington.
What was that lyric? All my angels?
So many of my angels I wish I could hug one more time.
He's one of your angels, right? Mm-hmm. And you wish you could hug him, right? Now, if he was standing right behind, Anthony's cracking, bro. Anthony's standing right behind you.
It's on my nerves.
Anthony's standing right behind you, and you have to tell him that. So sing that. Anthony's standing.
That would be tough because
and touch her back when she gets ready to sing this. When she really communicates with you, touch her back. Sing that "My Angels" thing to Anthony.
I feel like it's kind of
sing
third
that
person.
"My Angel" thing to Anthony.
All right. So many of my angels, I wish I could hug one more time. Don't know how I'll get through, but Lord knows I'll try.
Keep going.
We will always be together. Ooh. Even when we're apart, holding on to your memory, because it's etched in my heart.
See what I mean? And all I'm doing is trying to trigger her. You got that, and then you ask her, how does it feel? You start doing that, those questions that Brad is asking, like, how does that feel, and this and that, and you get them deeper and deeper off into it. I'm not looking to force her to sing a certain way. I'm looking to have her tap into the emotions. And if she did anything where, like Anthony, step back, bro. If she,
sometimes I say we don't teach, we expose, we bring out. Don't necessarily. I mean, sometimes I'll teach, when it's applicable, but Quite often when you're working like Mayat's working with you, he's trying to learn about you. He's trying to find out what you are, who you are, what you feel. That way he can guide you through the process.
Now imagine we turn off the lights and she's singing. I'm saying this type of stuff. I say, all right. I say, Anthony, who else? And she give me these names. I see, I'll put your arms around her, hold her hand, put your hands on her shoulders while she's singing. And ain't no telling what she finna perform. But yeah, we might hear some snot in that recording and some saliva building, all kinds of stuff, and it should come out.
That's that
ready
original
to
Motown feel.
That's
You
human,
notice
man.
they did that.
Yeah, all about. Yeah, I've had women crying in the recording session. The only problem is sometimes they can't get through the song.
Exactly.
And you have to find a place where they can feel their emotions, but not to the point where they just can't sing because you get so choked up, right?
And if you're with me, we're gonna practice.
Yeah.
You being able to sing through it. We're gonna practice because to me it's just another obstacle where you train and you practice to get through that.
It is.
Yeah,
especially when you have to like sing at the celebration of life.
Yeah,
That
oh my God, yeah.
Definitely
into those. Whoa.
that is definitely a test. Because I do that often, and a lot of the family members that did pass, I was the one who had to sing at the homegoing celebration. So it was literally choking back tears because you want to be able to execute the performance. However, you're emotional. So.
Congratulations that you did it.
So I hope y'all caught the difference of when she first sang and then she sang
she
that.
extroverted.
And we can keep going down the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Now, if she writes a song about fighting and she's mad, I'm in trouble. Because
I don't write about that.
Yeah, I might have to do something to make her real mad. And I know some stuff, and then we'd be ready to fight. Be like, look, engineer, do not stop recording.
Well, don't you know that's what the glass is for, Maya?
Hey,
we gotta go to,
don't you know that?
like, hold on, y'all. Let's
go to Amazon and get those real giant boxing gloves that are like this big, so it doesn't really hurt.
Right.
But yeah, we are trying to capture and generate and capture real emotion. And some of it, like some people, they can't even access the emotion. So when you start asking, how does that feel? They don't, it's like, how does it feel? I don't know. Well, no. You
have to
go
keep
down
digging.
that rabbit hole.
Yeah,
and they start
digging.
Yeah, they start being able to say, well, it feels like blah, blah, blah. And even when they start explaining, it feels like when I was 7 years old, when my mama took that belt to me, and I was in the right, and she didn't realize it. And they get on, and once you see this emotion that you need, you hit record and say sing.
Yeah.
And let them, go through it and do it.
He's right. The first thing most of us do is tell the story. And that's okay, because that helps me understand what they're trying to accomplish. But then the next question has to be, if you want to get emotion out, is what does it feel like when you say that? Not just tell me the story, tell me the emotion that you feel while you're in the story. That's what we want to record. But the story that's great. Anybody can say, well, it's this and this, and I remember that and that. But an artist is somebody who actually expresses the emotions that are inside of that. And that's what Maya's talking about getting out of you. And there was definitely a difference. In the two times you sing, and this has all been recorded, so you can go back and check it out.
Yeah.
And when I asked her to sing it out of so when I was asking her to sing it out of order, what I know is you can write songs in a manner to where no matter how you sing it, it's going to be good. It's just a different presentation. So she might get into a situation at a funeral where the first verse that we have might not be the one to sing at that moment. Another one might be, and so she could rearrange it and give that presentation for that moment and have impact.
Smart.
And see, that fits dialogue going back to church, because sometimes you got to jump in with a song and it has to be based on what is being preached about or what's in that sermon. And so you might have had another song in your back pocket. It's like, he's not talking about that today. So you kind of gotta, so it kind of ties in with that ability. I think it still comes from the grounding of church, and then I think it helps me grasp the component of that a little bit easier.
That's why us white folk are always going, how do you do that?
Oh my God.
I wrote a blog that I actually, the title of the blog is that black gospel preachers are some of the best vocal coaches in the world. Because they help you get it. They help you express it. They don't say, oh, your larynx was too high. Oh, your tongue's too tight. Oh, blah, blah, blah. No, they let it out. Just let it go. And sometimes you sing better technically when you're emotional than when you try to sing it just technically.
Right.
I've heard that a lot, and I know there's a group of voice teachers who don't believe that's true because they say that technique is so intellectual, it has to be so right that emotion interferes. Imagine that, emotion interfering with your singing. I'm just like, I don't know.
All right,
You wouldn't like
there.
music.
But see,
exactly.
Brad,
You don't know music.
that's a good point, because if a person is actually going for that and I'm over here going for the emotion, we're not a good fit. Like, it's the wrong thing. But there's a use for that. Like, say if they're doing a movie and they need that in the movie and I'm over here doing this emotion stuff, it's a no. So it's not like,
Well, it's not right or wrong.
Right,
Yeah.
right. What are we trying to achieve?
Right.
Because like you, it's goal oriented. What are we trying to achieve? Now, real quick, songwriting. I want to have this in the recording. Y'all go look up the song "On the Other Hand." That one's a Randy Travis one. And just if you don't like country, ignore that it's country. Listen to what is being said,
Right.
and watch what happens. On the other hand, and
I agree.
She let herself go. There's a song called "She Let Herself Go." I don't want to say anything else. Just listen to it and see what happens. And there's a song, "Hello Walls" by Faron. Well, listen to that version.
Hello, Walls.
Listen to that version. "Hello Walls." I'm talking just songwriting. Just when I start songwriting with people, this is the type of stuff that I'm talking about. And then there's one songwriting technique I want to go over real quick, and it's called writing to the title method. Look up "I'd Rather Go Blind" by Etta James and take every sentence and then read the title of the song. "I'd rather go blind." So read sentence one and then say "I'd rather go blind," which is the title of the song, and do that with every sentence and watch what happens. And that is a technique that you can, once you catch that, that's a technique that you can use for songwriting. But then that's writing to it, and then try going from the title into something else. Like, do an exercise where you have a title of a song, you say that title, and then whatever would come after that. So if it's like Brad Chapman's a great vocal coach, and then you say something else, because he'll pull the emotion out of you.
And I'd rather go blind.
See, there you go. And you will end up like, these are songwriting techniques where you can end up, when you get stuck on a song, this can help you get extra lyrics. I just wanted to throw that into this recording. That's all.
That's great. In fact, Jack Wolf has a question for Monae. He says, when you're singing, and this is right on point, when you're singing, especially with the choir or any church, or any church, are you even considering anything about technique at any point when you're really in it?
Nope. I would have to say it's straight off a feel.
Yeah.
And sometimes I get so deep in it and I'm like, dang, did I just get goosebumps? That's how deep into it I get. Because I think I have an emotional connection with music.
You do.
So, and for me, it's like one form of therapy. So I try to be in it when I do it.
He says, do you ever anticipate a note before you get into it? I'd say
sometimes.
You say no again.
Sometimes
okay.
it depends. I tend to, if it's like a note that I feel like is a high one, I anticipate the high notes because I'm just naturally a low girl. So I try to create my high note ahead of time and kind of just have my riff ready to bring it back down. Because if I go up, I don't like to stay up. Come back down.
So it's like, hold on.
No, it's just you got to make sure it's right when you're doing a low tone song and you're having a high moment. You just want to make sure you execute the high moment. That is not a part in the song that you want to mess up because it will be noticed.
Hence what I call practice.
Right.
And it doesn't guarantee anything, but that's what repetition. There's a great saying. Tony Robbins was the first person I've heard it from, but I've seen it elsewhere. That repetition is the mother of success. So if you repeat that high note enough times, when you're in church singing it, you won't think about it anymore because you've automized it.
Yep.
You're not afraid of it anymore, and that's why there's another term for this called woodshedding, where, okay, you know the whole song, you got the whole song, that's great, but there's that one line,
Right.
And you're not so sure.
Just
right?
go over that. Yeah.
So you just go over that one line.
Yeah.
Forget the whole song. You got
Yeah.
the whole song. Just do that one line until now it all matches.
Yep.
Now there's no worry about it. And musicians should take this advice as well. You know, if there's a chord change coming up and they're not so sure about how to go from G to D minor there at that one particular spot, they need to take that and just go G, D minor, G, D minor, G, until they don't have to think about it anymore, because it'll affect the rhythm.
And as a singer, what helps me too, when it's something like that, where you're going in between notes and you need to remember, because you don't want to get off key in front of people, even waking up out your sleep and just practice it. And then go back to sleep. You got to catch yourself off guard too when you do it. You know what I mean? It's random times. First thing when you wake up, see if you can. Right before I go to sleep, let me do it one more time, a couple times. Okay, I still got it. And then, then it should. Then next thing you know, in 3-4 days, it's like now I'm just singing it for no reason at this point. So yeah.
Well, yeah, you don't want to do that kind of repetition.
Yeah.
But you know what Maya and I are talking about, and Maya's mentioned already that, and so have I, that every time you sing it, there's a different emotion in you because you're a human being. So it's always a little different. Mm-hmm. It's never exactly the same unless you turn the emotions off and say, okay, this is what I planned and this is what I'm going to do.
Yeah. You know what, Brad, for the longest time growing up, I was always very mechanical. I guess I was I need to learn it just like the singer, right? And honestly, it was only a year and a half ago when I started writing my own songs and learning from Mott and others, that I'm truly, truly experiencing what it's like to let go, because there's creativity that I have to input into my own songs. And I was practicing at last for fun. I love singing it, but at the end, I'm like, how could I make this fun? And then I was definitely in the zone, and I'm like, I need to figure out a way to end it in a unique way, in my own way. I've sang this song so many times, but how could I make it more original? But I had gotten so much into the zone that I could never remember what I had done in the end every time. I was like, ugh. I'm like, I don't remember what I did. I loved it, but I can't replicate it. And then I kept doing something else that was cool, and then something else that was cool. So I am loving all of that. And I'm so jealous of Monae. You grew up kind of doing that immediately as, once you knew you could sing, which is amazing. So it's awesome.
You have to feel sad for us poor crackers.
Oh my God.
There's a lot of singers, there's a lot of performances where the performance is never the same when they go out on stage at night or whatever. It's never the same. And what are you going to do? I don't know. I'm going to sing the song. And it's just they get out there and they do it. And you will ask them, what did you do? And I have no idea. And
I love the statement when a singer says, they walk off the stage and go, where was I?
Yeah, you're so caught up into it. Yeah, you have to record it to show you what you did, and that's a beautiful thing. So this is another thing I got from Brad. So watch this. If I'm working with an artist, if I can over time get that artist to stop judging themselves and let me be the judge, it frees them up to where they can get into what they're doing and then ask me, how did I do? That's to where once we get to that, we can start knocking stuff out and without even trying. And you'll have a bunch of recordings where you go back and listen and be like, wow, I did that. That right there.
There's one other statement you may have forgotten that I think is a little more powerful, is not how did I do, how do you feel? Mm-hmm. You just heard me say, what do you feel?
Yeah,
And because that advice you can use. You can say, you felt sad. Well, I felt sad too. I have a statement for this, Monae. All of you, I think, can get this, because we all want some structure in our lives. We want to let go as well, sure. But if there's no structure at all, it's just chaos. I mean, it's just like flat notes, sharp notes, everything's completely off. But when you're feeling emotions, Monae, I'll feel it. That's black and white. You feel it, I'll feel it. There's no question about that. So if you want to reflect and say, man, I felt that, when I growled, well, we felt the emotion. Maybe some of us didn't even notice you growled, but we felt the emotion.
Thank you for that.
You can't get around that. You can't say, oh, I felt it, they didn't. Well, maybe if they're sociopaths, right? But, it's so concrete. There's one other visualization scheme. So music is considered a universal language. Okay, well, one of the reasons is because it expresses emotions. So let's say you're in a city that you've never been in, you don't know the culture, you don't know the language, you don't know anything. But you're walking down the street and you hear,
right.
Are you going to go? I don't know. What was that? No, you said somebody feeling sad.
Right.
Somebody's hurting.
Right.
Or they're laughing. Oh my God! Somebody's having a blast out there. Wonder what they're doing.
Right.
In a totally different language.
Right.
So you can be very concrete about that, but it does help sometimes to say to the producer, like, "What'd you feel?"
Right.
Just to get a little bit of feedback. But what did you think? The problem with what do you think is then we get mechanical again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh well, I thought that rhythm was
the timing wasn't on.
Yeah, timing.
Yeah.
You get these producers who are musicians, and they want to impose their musical talent.
Yeah.
Oh, I think you were a little sharp there. It's. I think you could. I think if you hit that high note, it could be a little better. They want to control your performance. And all I can tell you from my experiences is, and I think you know this already, and you're learning this, Olga, is you get somebody like that in the studio, it's time to go home. Mm-hmm. You're not going to get anywhere with those people because they've got their own agenda.
Yeah.
And you can't sing their emotions because then now you're acting.
Mm-hmm.
That's where we've talked, Mayat's, about the acting. And I want to clear something up, Mayat. You said so that the movie director wants you to feel your own feelings, but aren't you playing a character still? I mean, aren't you supposed to represent the character in the story?
Absolutely, but
so how do you do that?
Like right now, Brad, you're a character. You absolutely are a character, but you don't know. But you're not sitting there. Brad would do such and such. As she was singing, she was getting into character.
Right, but it's pre-written.
And so,
in a story, it's pre-written though.
So's her lyrics.
That's true. Okay.
So
shut up.
Well, one of the techniques. I'm trying to remember his name. There's Michael Hagee and
something Tyler. Wait, I don't remember. It was someone.
Okay, y'all. So this getting old is to where you forget stuff. Once this video is over, I'll remember who he is. But there's one of the directors where what he does is he'll ask permission to talk to whatever the character's name is, and he'll start having a conversation with that person, and that person doesn't know that they're in the movie. Oh. And he may not have written the whole script out or everything, and that person is sitting there reacting. Like ask, well, how do you feel about the divorce between your mother and your father? It's not even written in the script, and he got to answer. And he'll work the characters up doing that, and then throw them into the scene, and then they know their lines, and now they're feeling this emotion and reacting as the character.
Right. It's like embodying it.
Yeah, but there's no set rule on it has to be done like this. It's just like when Monae sang, they're into the emotion. And they know who the character is, but they're into the emotion of it, and it's the same stuff as what I just did to her, where I asked her about her grandmother, and I could have went down that rabbit hole where she said, I know you better not. Ooh, I'm gonna get you when you're offline. But they get the person into the character, into the emotion, but it's not getting them into the character where you're being fake. Getting you into character allows you to stop being yourself where you judge. And let me clarify that. An artist will write something
it's called introspection,
and not sing it, not want to sing it because my father would feel a certain way. Well, then why'd you write it? So we can take it off of that person and have Stephanie singing it, and Stephanie goes all out, and so the person can actually perform it fully emotionally and stuff without worrying about their father and what he would think. It's a mind thing.
Yeah, that's introspection. It's
introspection? Okay.
Yeah, it's an interesting skill, but everybody has it. You think about sometimes when you're working with a singer and you're hearing these words, but there's nobody home. So the words have no meaning because the singer's going, oh, did I do that like my voice teacher taught me? That's why I talk about perfect pitch and perfect rhythm being a trap. Because you get caught up in that. Oh, am I perfectly on pitch? Oh, am I perfectly on rhythm? Was my vibrato 6 times a second, like Seth Riggs told me it always had to be? And am I on top of the pitch and all that kind of stuff? But you're actually singing words, but they have no meaning even to the person singing them. No meaning. And so what it means by introspection is that you're introspecting. You're internal and you're inspecting yourself.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a quick word of putting two things together, but you're looking inside and you're inspecting yourself. and you can't. Now you can do that with emotions. That's interesting, because at least you're in real time and the words have some meaning. But still, if you can get to the point where you're not even doing that, that's really good.
Well, the technique is a Mark Travis technique. I just looked it up on my phone because I've got recordings of him. The Mark Travis technique. If you guys look it up, you can watch him. Like you can get with people who are new and get them to be in emotion. So whatever way you can get a person to access real emotions, that's it. It's not about this technique is that perfect or whatever. But it's interesting when you can talk to a person and get them to not to get past any of the hang-ups. Like, well, I wouldn't do that. Right. I wouldn't sing high-pitched. Well, Melanie would. And get them to be Melanie. And which really what that means is letting go of their hang-ups and holdbacks to where they would go ahead and do it because it's not on them personally. But when you watch Mark Travis do it, it's amazing. It's like,
Yeah, there's a new saying. Well, I don't know if it's a new saying, but it's become really popular now. The saying, "Be in the moment."
Right.
Yes.
Live in the moment.
Yeah.
And if you're introspecting, the moment that you're in is how did I do? But if you get where Mayat's getting you and you're just feeling things and you're just singing, then that's the moment. You're in that moment, and But I've got a career. What you just said, you could maybe make some money. Coach actors who want to be singers as artists.
Yeah. Absolutely.
As artists, not as actor singers.
Absolutely.
But they want to be artists because they think it's cool too, you know. And I don't know if you've got any connections with those, but that could be.
Some artists are actors.
Huh?
Some artists are actors.
Yeah, but what we're trying to say here is that actors whose whole life is kind of like your black gospel background. Their whole life is being somebody else.
Right.
So now here comes Mayat and says, "Be yourself," and they're like, "What? Who's that?"
Yep.
And I coached some of them, but at the time I was coaching them, I didn't really have the advice that Mayat just gave. And so they had the connections, they had the money, but they couldn't get the record to sell. Because the people who buy artists felt that the vocal was phony. It didn't have the feel to it that they were looking for. Because they're looking for, like in Brad Pitt's case, they're looking for Brad Pitt, not the character Brad Pitt's playing.
Right.
So it's different. Movies, maybe Brad Pitt can be somebody entirely different, and we love it. Right. He's this, he's that. We think that's really cool. But if he tries to create his own record, and now the producer's in there going, no, we need Brad Pitt, that's kind of out of his wheelhouse. Not that he can't do it. It's just a little bit out of his wheelhouse. But if you can connect those two together and make that something that they can absorb really quickly, you might just have something there.
Right. Just like really good actors, if they're playing a certain role, you notice how some of the really good actors, they will actually, to embody that person, they'll actually go be that go sit with them, have them tell them their whole life story, see what they eat for breakfast every day, what their work, like really be that person and then play their role in a film. And it's like a total different feel because you have to take time to try to get out of your, like say if I wasn't doing an emotional song, my struggle would be say a happy song or super walking through the park, making my way downtown, something like that. I would have to you know what I'm saying?
Sunshine.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So it's like I would need to have a whole background of things that make me happy that day. I need to do a whole bunch of things to get myself in that mood. Find the happiest person. We need to have a conversation. It's like you got to try to study and deep dive into that so you don't feel like you're acting like it. You feel like you're actually that at that moment.
Well, you need to become that.
Yeah.
And there's some advice on that too, is don't sing songs you don't feel.
Yeah.
Pass them. So that's a great song, but it's not me.
That's true.
It might be you in 20 years.
You don't know. It might be you tomorrow, but sometimes in the movies you'll see the situation where there's a guy at the piano and there's a stack of music and there's a singer. And the singer's handing it to the pianist and then they do it and they go, nah, pass that, throw it away. And they grab another one, pass that. No, this one, yeah, I feel this one. Okay, let's work on that one. So they're literally trying to find, all of this stuff that's been handed to them by writers what they can connect to, because they know if they can't connect to it, it's going to come out poorly, right? So, but what you're taking it another level, which would be really interesting to work as well. Like put somebody in a song that they really can't relate to, and see if they can figure out some way to get the emotions out. That'd be. I don't know if it'd be worth doing, but it would be a challenge. That's for sure.
Well,
For great artists, sometimes you have to.
Well, so check this out. So if you have a song, say you've never had love, or you've never loved a person, and the song is saying, I don't want you out of my life. Please, if you ever leave, please return. So there's this whole thing about it. You're like, I don't have anybody I feel that way, but there's this little puppy that you've been raising. So you sing it about the puppy. Look, puppy, if what happens if this puppy goes out? Yeah. So this puppy leaves and never comes back, and oh no, that's my family. That's the love of my life. Hold up, well, we finna sing about this puppy. You know, and it's things like that. You got to find something where there's a connection.
Do they call that method acting?
Ew.
Is that the term? I've heard the term method acting. I thought that's what it meant. Maybe not.
I don't know I don't think that's method acting. But that's a real emotion. Missing that puppy. Do you not know how these people be with these animals?
Yes.
Like, these people be talking like this is like their child, like Olga's child. Like no, but yes. Like you find
really
something
at that
where you have the real emotion.
Yeah.
You know? But man, now I got to go back and relook on what method acting is, because I even got a book on method writing. Brad.
Shorthand a little bit. Maya, what would it mean? This person chatted. Best viewers, rankexpert.ru.
Best viewers, rankexpert.
Yeah, it's one word. rankxpert.ru. Best viewers. Don't know what it means. Anyway, if you'd like to clear that up for us, we'd appreciate it. Whoever wrote it. I can't say your handle there. It's hip carry Ella whatever. I'm not good at handles.
I'm not. You said rank?
Yeah. It's one word. rankxpert. So like rankexpert.ru. The actual letters RU.
They might be asking how if we were to rank ourselves as experts.
Huh. I don't know.
I don't even go that. I couldn't even do that because and you can be in and out. It's really tapping into real deal stuff. I might say I'm sitting here and I'm really feeling this. That doesn't mean that the audience is going to feel it. So we still got to test it.
They're going to feel something though.
That's
what I was saying.
Yeah.
That's the black and white part. They're going to feel something.
Oh yeah. It's like that. Even that thought of ranking yourself as an expert in men always searching.
Doesn't fit our
always
world.
Trying to tap into that. But like, am I an expert on when a person is angry at me? No, but I can identify it.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
It's that type of thing, and getting sensitive to it. And part of what made me get back sensitive to it was somebody told me to stop and watch movies and the news and whatever with no sound, and try
watching body language.
Yeah, and try to see and be able to judge and feel with no sound. Mm-hmm. And I did that. I've done that for years, and like we do that when we listen to songs. It's just sound. But to try to get in touch with emotional stuff, and I became real sensitive. But as ranking an expert,
yeah, what you can do
press play
is press play. Like you heard Maya and Monae's work, feel free to rank it, right? But I mean, if I had degrees from the university on my wall, it would mean absolutely nothing in this industry. They could care less. Even though platinum records are just something you did in the industry worked. But that doesn't necessarily mean you're going to work for me. You might be the wrong partner for me to do a record, right? Like some voice teachers like to say, "I'm the #1 voice teacher in the world." Well, for whom?
Mm-hmm. Right.
For whom?
Yep.
Right? Maybe not for me. Maybe for me. I mean, Seth worked out really well for me, but I did have to remove myself from his technical implications.
Right.
If there were any voice teachers watching you sing, Monae, that have this kind of background, they could be on you. They could, she strained there, like, well, that vowel was not right, and screw them. It doesn't mean anything. that's your business, right? How you sing, how you produce your vowels, whatever. Now, what did happen when I was Seth Rick's partner that kind of made us famous was singers like Anita Baker would be on tour, and because of some of these issues that their voices were doing, it was causing them touring problems. So they wanted to fix those. So we came in and we fixed them, but we didn't tell them how to sing. At least I didn't. I just said, look, we'll fix this so that you can continue to tour. But and then Seth did sometimes. He said, look, you can't be doing that. That's not right. But artists don't work that way. You can't tell them what to do. It's just, no, that's not art anymore, right?
So now these two are writing songs. I have no idea if Olga still is looking for people to write with. Hopefully there's people in Vegas who are listening to this and you find Olga.
So listen, right now,
she's moving.
She's moving.
Well, I don't know. We'll see. We'll do it. But what I am itching for right now is like I hear Monae and I have this song and I'm like it's exploding out of me, but I can't sing it like the style that I need it to be, and I feel like she could just deliver it. It's like it would be more, I guess, gospel Christian, and I feel like it's just like it. Yeah, I feel like
we should do that.
If it's okay with Monae, you can take a recording and you can put it on Audacity. You can slow it down and listen.
We should do that. We should actually record.
Oh my God!
Like where you record other people's songs. Like we should do that.
Only if I can write one back for Olga.
Yes, please.
Hey.
Do me a sad one. A sad one. Yes. She can put all the emotion in there. Yeah, and I will. Yeah, I would love that. For sure.
So you vocal produced before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Vocal coach. I've trained people through songs. Mm-hmm. I've had to write a song for a couple people, and then I would have to like kind of what Maat does, but a little different. It's more so like not them mimicking me, but showing them that their voice can do stuff that
that's
they
what we
didn't
should
think.
do with Olga.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't try certain stuff, you don't really know what you can do. So sometimes
Right.
it takes being around somebody who does things that you don't do.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you need to
Definitely.
that freedom you were talking about, Olga. You want to have that freedom to like a modern painter has. He throws some red ink or paint at the canvas and he goes, I don't think I like that. I'm going to erase that. Okay, then I'm going to throw up something else. And then after, 10, 15 times, he's got 10 or 15 colors up there and he's going, yeah. But for a while, he's like throwing them out there. I'd hate him, get rid of it. But but the willingness to throw it out there and see what it's going to look like, right? That's an artist has to get to that point rather than, I'm afraid. I'm afraid to throw that red up there. It might look ugly.
Yeah. Just
I always say, what's the worst that can happen? You don't like it? Delete it.
Yeah.
But
But what if you try it and it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I could do that. Mm-hmm. Now you created magic.
But as you know, some people, that's their biggest fear. I mean, they'd rather deal with a guy with a knife than put their own emotions out there.
Yeah.
And so we have to, we just have to go, you're talking about the big boxing gloves, right? You just have to use kid gloves and, work it out so that, that it's happy. But some people are just not going to do this. Mm-hmm. Maat knows that better than anybody. He's been fought with quite a few singers over his time, rappers and so forth, and it's just not going to work, and we can't control that, but we can certainly teach them. And I really appreciate you doing that, Monae. That's, big thumbs up for you taking that on, because what we're talking about today, 25 years ago, like Maat said, he didn't know I was the one that created it until he was looking at my old Sing From Feel Facebook site. And I said, well, that's me. He said, what? Well, back 25 years ago, I was researching on the internet anybody who would teach anything that we're talking about right now. I didn't find a soul. Mm-hmm. Now you can find people who are talking about it, and some people are saying they're teaching it. Whether they're using our methodology or not, I don't know. That's not important to me. It's important to whoever's going to buy whoever's book, But the Sing for Feel system is specifically designed to bring all of this information out there, to make it common knowledge, so that even when we're hearing somebody out there busking, that that's somebody singing on the corner, right, just with the guitar laying down there. If you don't know what busking means, even those people are singing with emotion now, rather than just being robots. We can change the world with this methodology, but it's got to be exposed, and I appreciate you guys so much for coming on here and exposing it. So we've been going quite a while. So
but Anthony, Anthony said you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Who's that? Oh, that's the
Dead cousin.
that's the imagery. That's the imaginary cousin. Yeah. Okay.
That's her dead. He's dead.
I know. I'm trying
to.
I'm trying to catch up here. But I want to thank all of you so much for contributing to this. And Jack Wolf, by the way, said, "Bye, everyone. This is really insightful and inspirational info today. Thank you all for sharing your amazing talents and skills."
Peace out, Jack.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's so.
And my name is Monae Charisse.
You got to say the whole thing.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Monae Charisse.
Charisse.
Monae
Charisse.
So, okay. So it looks like three different words. Monae, Ray, Charisse.
Charisse.
No,
but you're saying
there's no Ray.
You're saying they hook up. Ray Charisse.
Monae, Charisse.
Charisse. Oh, well,
When you go back and read it, you'll see it's Monae, Charisse. When you read it, you'll see.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll take the challenge on.
Yeah, when you go back and read it, you'll see it'll say Monae and then Charisse.
We put a lot of syllables in our names. I'm just kidding.
Yo, black folk be doing all kind of stuff.
Yeah, but you got nothing on the Europeans. I mean, I've seen tennis players with 5 syllables in their name. It's like, what? I'm trying to figure out how do you say that. Anyway, so I'll let these folks go, and then I've just got a little bit of a closing statement to finish the show. And again, thank you so much. Anytime you guys want to do this again, we'd love it. And take care.
Thank you, Brad, for teaching me the Sing from Field. Thank you.
You're so welcome. All right, so here's the closing saying. Okay, so let's look at this. You saw what actually is happening. You heard it. You could see it. When you listen this way, you stop hearing singing as notes and tone. You start hearing the choices that make something believable. We've been there all afternoon. That's the difference between sounding correct, we talked about that, technically correct, and sounding real. And that's a technique. That's correct, to sound real. And if you can't hear those choices, if they're not in your mind, then you can't sing them. And that's why I developed Sing from Feel. So what you heard today with Ella Langley and with Monae and with Olga, and listening to the words of the great Hotep, every strong singer is doing this. Most people just don't know how to identify it. They don't know how to get it. They don't know how to feel it. So that's exactly what the Sing from Feel mastery system trains. It teaches you how to hear these choices clearly, break them down, and apply them so your voice responds the way it's supposed to. We talked about that today as well. So if you don't have the ability yet, I didn't for a long time. Nobody has it automatically. The book is where you start, co-written with Hotep. And you heard the great advice he was giving you. It gives you the framework so you can actually recognize what you're hearing instead of guessing. No more guessing. You know what you're doing. If you feel it, they'll feel it. Then the 30 videos in the system that make absolutely sure you know exactly what you're doing. That's what we did today. They're all in the videos. You can use any artist you want. If you want to pull Big Bird out and see how he sings, go for it, right? And apply that to any artist you choose. That's kind of where I was heading. So if you're serious about fixing it and being able to do it consistently, that's what the full system is for. It covers virtually everything that we could think of. Because this doesn't correct itself over time, you can keep singing the same way and it's not going to change. You either train your ear to hear what's real, what's really happening in this industry, or you keep repeating the same patterns and wondering why it doesn't land. You keep learning from sheet music, you keep doing what the sheet music does, and you're going to get polite applause, and that's as far as it's going to go. That's my experience talking. So the next step is straightforward. Stop guessing, train your ear, and start making these choices on purpose. Because once you can hear it, you can control it. And when you can control it, you don't sound like someone just trying to sing. You sound unbelievable. So go to the chat room or go to the description beneath, get the link, start working on this now, and I'll give you my closing statement here. Now, go feel something.